Hey, good morning. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, TikTokers. Make sure that you speak when you come in so that I can say hello on YouTube and Facebook. Good morning, RM. Good morning, DJ Wright. Good morning, Juman T. Shay, Angela Dixon, DJ Wright. All the people. Good morning, MG Brock. Good to see you. Hey, Honey Graham. What's up? Hey, Andrew. Hello, love someone 64. What's up? How are you guys? Good morning. Happy Tuesday to everyone. You guys doing all right today? Got a lot to talk about today. A lot. Good morning, Chef Ryan. Good morning, Carmen. Hey, Conchita. Good morning. Hey, Uka. Good to see you. Hello, Farah. Hey, Amy. It is early today. Yeah. I'm working to get up to 10 o'clock all the time. That's the goal, is to get to 10 a.m. every day, Amy. That's the goal. What's up, Blue Honey Pot? Good morning, Cheryl. For those of you guys, good morning, Denise. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a minute. Hello, Iris Bradley. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Hector. Good morning. Y'all doing okay? Good morning, Stacy D in the place to be. Good morning, Marcia. Mods, I apologize in advance for anything that these images might bring along with today. Good morning, Marky. But we do have a lot to talk about today, and it is really important. It has a lot to do with all of these people, and so there's a lot to go over, including the full Diddy indictment, the original Diddy indictment. So I want to talk about that towards the end of the live. That is why there is a trigger warning up there, right? So today there's going to be discussions around race, which is sometimes we do that, right? Um, but we're also going to be talking about the Diddy indictment. We're going to be talking about the case as it stands, and things that are related to that, right? So here's what I'm going to say is that you are free to disagree with me. What I'm going to say to you is that as long as you can have a respectful conversation that doesn't include slurs, no spamming, no all caps in my comments, and all of that, then you feel free to join this panel and we can have a conversation about it, right? If you are here to troll, I highly recommend that you just move on and go somewhere else, because this is not the space for that. It's not something that we do here. So if that is what you're used to, this is probably not the space for you. So having said that, just let me know how you want to roll and we will go there. I will say this, that if you pop off in the comments, good morning, Witch, good morning, Tambe, good morning, Lisa K. If you pop off in the comments quite a few times and you do so, and I invite you to come up and then you choose not to come up to the panel, then you'll probably either get muted or booted because you're not here like authentically. Hey, Shauna, what's up, BA? Good morning, Rebel. Hey, Jackie. Good morning. How are you? Which were signed back in 2020 during Trump's first term. I don't think that Jackie meant to request up. No problem. Good morning, Lavonda. Good to see everybody. So lots to chat about. Good morning, Mary Shaw. Good to see you too. Hope everybody had a good Monday. Am I live on TikTok? Am I live on YouTube? I am. I am TikTok. I am YouTube, and I am the Book of Faces. I am all the places this morning. Because I really do want to talk about this. Some of it we've talked about previously, some of it we touched on yesterday, but there are some interesting developments that I think people should pay attention to. What's up, Pamela? Good to see you as well. And let me just say this. Good morning, 2409. Did you all see that the Episcopal Church decided they rejected resettling the white South Afrikaners because they said that they oppose this move by the Trump administration. And so the Episcopal Church said, thanks, but no thanks. We have no interest in resettling those individuals. So I said, good for them. Good morning, Helen. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm all for that, right? I am all for that. John, how was my birthday? So you guys made sure that my birthday was incredible. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything. I worked. I was with the Democratic Michigan Rural Caucus last night, doing a workshop with them. And so that's what I was doing on my birthday. And then I let the kids, of course, pick what we were having for dinner. They voted on Moe's, so we did that. And then we had some ice cream for dessert because that's what the kiddos wanted. Good morning, Nicole Bell. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, Thomas. Good to see you guys. So, hey, Rylene. It was just work. That's it. It was my normal life. Thank you, Iris. I do appreciate that. You guys were terrific and amazing yesterday. There were lots of likes, lots of shares. I think we hit 600,000 likes yesterday and 1,000 shares, and you guys gifted away and all the things. And so I appreciate all that you all did, and the sneaking behind my back, and all of that. So I do appreciate it. I do. It was very, it was humbling, and it was great. So I appreciate that. Okay, so where to start? I have a bunch of things pulled up today to talk about. And I guess the first thing that I want to tackle. So if you all are in my, good morning, Scott, if you are in my my health and wellness program. So like if you have a membership that is $9 a month or more, that means that you have access to Get Your Life, which is my health and wellness training program. And part of that program is mindfulness, it is nutrition, and it is some form of exercise, getting your body active. Good morning, Ken. And in that, part of it is just, that mindfulness practice every morning. And it's just kind of picturing how you want your day to be, reading a little something, whatever. And so this morning, it's funny because what I read this morning, I immediately got the urge to share with you all and to have a conversation about it. And I would love to hear your responses and your opinions about this. Hey, Angel Snow. Hey, Susan. Hey, Morty. So, I hear a lot of people asking all the time, how did my family get so wrapped up into Trumpism? How did the people that I've known forever, the people that I love and care about, become MAGA? Like, I hear this question a lot because there seems to be a different level of commitment to Trumpism and MAGA than there is with just like being a Republican. It seems like next level, if you will. And so I hear people talk about this all the time. I'm sure you guys hear similar things, right? And I don't agree with telling people that they are in a cult. And the reason why I don't agree with telling people that they're in a cult is telling someone that they are in a cult has never in the world of cults ever gotten someone to leave the cult. You know what I mean? Like, never in the history of cults has saying to someone, you're in a cult, been the thing that makes them go, oh yeah, I'm in a cult, let me just leave. That's never been successful. So I don't know why it is something that people say to other people, especially if you really want them to consider something different. So, and let me just say this, I don't have a problem with people saying, oh, well, I support Donald Trump. If that's your choice and you support him, then that's fine. I think the thing when it becomes something that I get concerned about is when you're unable to consider anything else, despite any information that you get, despite any facts that are presented to you. Like when you become tunnel visioned, die hard, absolutely committed to a thing, regardless of the information, that is when you have to ask yourself what's going on, right? So here's part of what was in right, Chef Ryan. Hey, Katzmandu, right. So this morning, my little reading and meditation was around fanaticism, right? So everybody knows what it is to be a fanatic about something, right? Good morning, River Ray. And so I'm going to read it to you, and then I want to see what you think about this. And if you can use this as a way to view those people in your life. Follow me. Here's what it says. Fanaticism describes a rigid attachment to knowledge with an excessive intolerance of opposing views. It is driven by a need to believe in something 100%. Anything that contradicts or puts into question the sustainability of the belief is a direct threat, and a fanatic will defend the belief at any cost. Prejudice, intolerance, and violence are the instruments with which the belief is imposed onto people of this world. Regardless of how it can appear, this is the part that I underlined because I was like, ooh, hold on, can I take this in? It says, regardless of how it can appear, the driving force behind fanaticism is not hate or anger. but rather an extreme form of conditional love for self and others. This is how any beautiful belief in the world can become lost in corruption as knowledge controls a person's will for sake of its own existence. Holy jeez. I read that because what I have heard for the last several years is MAGA's full of hate, MAGA's full of hate, MAGA's full of hate, MAGA's full of hate, right? Yeah, so so dad jokes, you've got to come back. You've got to listen to it though. Listen, come on now. I need you all to dig deep. Dig deep. Listen. Yep, sit with it, because regardless how it can appear, the driving force behind fanaticism is not hate or anger, but rather an extreme form of conditional love for self and others. So the condition, thanks, Carla Ann, the condition, I totally get this, right? So when I think about the conditions that people are placing in order to buy into this fanaticism, right? We all know that Trump makes his followers feel, even though we're all sitting back going, but it's bullshit, he makes them believe that he cares about them. He makes them believe that he thinks they're valuable, that he's willing to stand in front of them and defend them above anything. Hey, Willie Young, right? And so I can see this conditional love of self and others as being the driving force behind fanaticism rather than hate and anger. Isn't that crazy? Right, but it doesn't matter. He says he does. And it feels good. And he showers them with his words every time they are in the arena. But I sat with that for a moment. And I said, wow, because if I truly believe this, if I take this on and I go, so when our attachment to a belief increases, this is the question. You ready? The question of who we are becomes directly linked to what we know. And at the highest level of attachment, fanaticism, right? Every decision we make is controlled by our beliefs. So we've lost the power of choice. Right, Becky, similar to that. And it's conditional, right? It's 100% absolutely conditional, right? And so I think that that's important for people to know. So Michael, I've gone ahead and given you an invitation to come up on the panel. Feel free to come up on the panel and we can discuss it. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you all because it might give you a different, but they don't hear that. That was a flub. That was just him that was just him misspeaking once, Iris, right? That one little flub amongst all the other things is just one little flub. That's not really what he meant. It was just a slip. You know what I mean? Everybody gets tongue twisted every now and again. Hey, Cheryl, right? So I just want to offer that to you and offer it to anybody else that is listening. If you have reached the place of who you are is directly attached to what you believe, right? Then you and there's no tolerance for any opposing views. That can be a problem. That is the hint. That is the knock on the door that says to you, you've probably gone a little too far. Hey, Sherry, how are you? What's up, Ebony? Hey, Nancy G. Hey, John. So I wanted to share that with you all so that you could take just a, because I read that and I went, oof. Because all we've been saying for a while is that it's hate and anger and all the things. But it is 100% conditional love of self and others. I can only love you and I can only love myself if I'm attached to this thing that is getting this result, right? This ideology, this whatever. And so that's the part that I think is interesting. Hey, Rachel, did you mean to request up?
Yeah. Hi, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. What you got for me?
Nothing. I just want to what you talking about exactly. Any specific topics?
Yeah, all the things up here, all the topics. So we're starting right here with not really Trump. Not Trump. Why not? The reason, Cecilio, is because the reason why we don't type in all caps is because caps are reserved for my moderators in case I need to see something that's important for me to address. And it's also reserved for the folks that I have that are vision impaired. So I just ask that you respect that guideline, and hopefully that's not too hard for you, just to not type in all caps, you know? Yeah, so Rachel, so we're specifically talking about a couple of different things. Number one is just fanaticism in itself. You know, you've heard so many people for a long time saying things like, "I don't understand how people can support Trump," or you hear some people say people that support Trump are in a cult and all that stuff. And so we were just discussing, that's what that brief talk just now was about that, and the attachment, when who you are becomes attached to what you believe, and there's no tolerance for any other ideology, right? The second piece of it that we are discussing are the white South Africans, the refugee status, the Episcopal Church yesterday, and then the division within, the Trump group itself. And then we will end conversations today with Diddy, and there's a few things sprinkled in between in there. So those are all the topics for today.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I just think it's hypocritical that they can let people come over here from Africa, but they want to say that people from the southern border can't come here. So it's hypocritical. They want to berate immigrants and Hispanics, but they're going to let those people. So I just think it's really hypocritical, honestly.
Yeah, so what I think is that it's racist.
It is.
I don't think it's just hypocritical. So in this space, we love to call a thing a thing. And so here's the thing: when you suspend the refugee program that has been in place for decades, and there are hundreds of refugees that have been going through the process for several years. Those people have gone through the background checks, they've gone through the security checks, they've been doing all the things required, and you just, with the swipe of a pen, suspend that program entirely for everyone else, and it leaves those people at risk. And then you prioritize white South Africans who do not meet the legal definition for them to be refugees. And then you charter a plane to bring them directly here at the expense of the American people is an issue for me. And the fact that you're only doing it for white South Africans is a problem. It's a direct demonstration of racism at work.
Yeah, not like Musk, but I completely agree, because I have been through the process myself. I know everything about it. People come here, they want a better life. And unfortunately, not everybody you can't choose where you're born. So I think it's really crappy that they don't want certain people coming here, and they come here the way they do because number one, you need money to come here the correct way, like people say. And number two, you have to have a sponsor. So people understand the system, how it works, how it truly works. And without those two things, you're not going to be able to get here legally. And it might take years and years and years to do that. So people don't understand the process. I've been through it, and they pay billions of dollars in taxes in our economy. So they do benefit, but they get it. They want to say, pay taxes. You get an IT number and pay taxes, but they don't want to give them any right here. They have no rights whatsoever. And then when you do become a resident citizen, you can only go back and claim 3 years after that. You can go back and claim 3 years prior. I've been through the process. I know about it. I know people, I'm not going to give my whole story, but they pay taxes, no criminal record whatsoever. They're not all bad people. They're not criminals. They make them seem to be, yes, or is bad people. But how many citizens here murder people all the time and commit crimes? So you can't say base whole group on a few bad people. I'm not saying there isn't bad ones, but if you want to make this place so safe again, then take every citizen. It doesn't matter the status. It matters who you are. Citizens, non-citizens, take them all out if that's the case. Because I think they forget that immigrants commit low crimes because they do want to become, they want to be safe, and they do want to become a resident citizen possibly, so which will dampen their benefit, dampen the chance of doing so. So more citizens commit crimes than anything. It's statistical wise, it's a fact. And they don't get benefits. The only thing they can get is emergency, because if they do become a citizen or resident, that might dampen their chance as well.
Yeah. So a couple of things. So that what they don't get are federal benefits. They do not get Medicare. They do not get Social Security. They don't get federal benefits, right? So 8 USC 611 is the law that tells you that they do not get Hayswells, that they don't get federal benefits. They can get state benefits according to state law. So, for example, in New York, if you are an undocumented immigrant and you have done your paperwork for your work permit, you've been assigned an ITN, which is your identification, your individual tax identification number, your ITIN number, and you have that and you are working, then in the state of New York, you can purchase Healthy New York, which is the state's Medicaid program. The same thing exists in California. The same thing exists in Illinois, but it depends upon the state. But federal law is no, you don't get SNAP, you don't get Social Security, and you don't get Medicare.
And see, the person I know paid tax for years and never received one thing ever because they knew if they did get assistance, they could damp their chance of becoming a resident or citizen. So they never got one assistance, nothing.
Well, but in Healthy New York, what it is it's not assistance. You purchase the program. So you purchase Healthy New York through their marketplace, the same way you do like ACA, that they purchase it, and it doesn't impact their citizenship or their ability to become citizens at all, because they are purchasing it because they work.
I'm in Indiana, so I'm the same person I know didn't get any assistance whatsoever, paid tax for years, and did everything the correct way. And to be rated like this and people are being sent away is just ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it absolutely is. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just always like to be clear, because some people will say, oh, but I'm in this state and people get this. And so I think what people need to understand is that they do not get federal benefits at all. They can get state benefits if the state law says that it does, right? Not all state laws say that they do.
Yeah.
They do pay taxes, right? They pay $97 billion in local, state, and federal taxes in 2022, right? So we know that that's a thing. But yeah, so and the reality is the legal definition to be a refugee to come to this country. None of those the folks, the white South Africans, they do not meet that. They don't meet it at all.
Oh, I know. They're just, they can just do whatever they want and just say, like they said, people are part of the MS, they use that to get them deported. So they're just going to say anything they want just to get, do what they want pretty much. So,
yeah. So, and it may be Linda Sims. I'm not sure. But we'll see. Yeah.
Indiana doesn't get any services, but like I said, I know when I went through the process, they didn't get any assistance. So
yeah,
not everybody does get assistance. I mean, some people might, but not everybody does, and they do pay taxes and then wait until their turn.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think people understand what quote unquote the right way is, because there is no such thing, right? If you are seeking asylum in this country, the only right way is to be present on U.S. soil and tell them that you want to seek asylum, right? So that's what asylum law says. It says be present on the soil. It says you do not have to come through a port of entry. It says regardless of their status, and it says regardless of their point of entry, whether they are at a point of entry, between ports of entry, or if they are brought in from the sea, does not matter. Seeking asylum just simply means getting your feet on the soil, on U.S. soil, however you can get it, and then you can apply for asylum. That's the legal process. And so what I don't think people understand is that the Trump administration has removed legal statuses that people already have simply because they're brown people in order to deport them. What's up, Carla? Meanwhile, he's bending over backwards and using taxpayer dollars to bring white South Africans here.
Period. Yeah, well, he doesn't take his money. If the billionaires contribute 10% of their money to this country, just 10%, which would help, we would be doing a lot better. But of course, they're not going to do that. But we're going to pay for it. Taxpayers are definitely going to pay for it.
Yeah. So, but I appreciate you, Melanie Red. I'm bringing you up as well. So. Appreciate you, Rachel. Thank you for joining in the conversation.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too. Do I think this is a setup to get an A system here? This is scary. I'm not sure what you're referring to. An A system. I'm not sure what you mean. All right. What's up, Lisa? Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Danny. So yeah, we were talking about the fanaticism thing a little bit in T's Live the other night. He had a bunch of people that kept saying no matter what T said, they were like, "Oh, but Biden did this and Biden did that," and I like came up and I'm like, "CT, what's going on is anytime that you say anything about Trump, they have emotionally connected themselves to Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So any criticism of Trump is a criticism of them personally.
Yep.
And even though, like, in the back of their mind, they might not agree with it, you are criticizing them. Like, if you asked them a couple weeks ago if it would be okay if we brought a bunch of South African people here to resettle them and charter a plane, they'd be like, no way, right?
Yeah.
They would have been flat out against it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now that Trump has already done it, now they have to rationalize it and excuse it. And find it because you're criticizing them personally.
Well, so here's what I think. I think that here's the difference. I think if you had said, is it okay if we bring white South Africans here? I think there would have been a significant number of people that said yes.
Yeah.
Simply because they think that they are the minority, and that somehow that means that because they are the minority in numbers, then that means that they are somehow being mistreated and that sort of thing, when in fact it's not true, right? We talked about this yesterday. The fact that even though white South Africans make up 7 to 8% of the population, they own 70 to 73% of the farmland in the country. So, you know, I think that that's the biggest thing. I think if we had just said that Donald Trump was bringing South Africans here and nobody bothered to talk about what color they was, they would all be up in arms, right? They would all be up in arms. But you know, that's not the thing. And so, because if you just say South Africans, then people are going to think they're black, but they're not. These are white South Africans from, you know, colonizers. So yeah, Laura, getting started early today.
Well,
but yeah.
Isn't it funny too, right? Or not funny, haha, but just interesting that as soon as you say that white people are a minority in a country, they're like, oh my goodness, they're being persecuted. But if black people are a minority in our country, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
You know, we don't need anything. There's no racism. Everything's good.
Yeah. 100%.
I think that's like so interesting, like the dichotomy. It's like, oh my goodness, white person, you mean me? It could be me. It could be me. I could be a minority somewhere.
Yeah.
That's horrifying.
But so here's the thing. Jane Goodall, not Jane Goodall, geez, oh Pete. Jane Elliott said the same thing. When if you see this clip of Jane Elliott and she's in like a theater or auditorium, and she asks all the white people in the room if they would change places with a rich black person, and none of them raised their hand. And she said, but why? Right? I mean, I'm offering you a rich black person. And no one raised that. And she said, and the reason why is because you know that they are mistreated, and you don't want to be treated the way that they are treated, even if they are rich. And this is my whole thing. This is the reason why they assume that white people in other countries that are the minority are being mistreated, because they know in this country they mistreat black and brown people. So they are expecting other people to do unto them as they have done to everyone else. That's why there's this. So let me just, if I could break this all down for y'all, this all comes back to one thing and one thing only, right? Is the attempt to retain the power structure in this country that has been since this country's inception, right? By white people. That's what this entire thing is about. If you don't know that. And they are 100% concerned because minorities give birth at a faster and higher rate than white populations are, right? Kelly Brooks, let me answer that question for you. The reason that race is always brought up is because race is still an issue. So when race no longer becomes part of the problem, when race is no longer part of the issue, when race is not a driving factor in what is happening, then I promise you I'll be happy to stop talking about it. But until that day, I will talk about it all damn day long. Let me just be very clear about that. And the fact that you're asking that question tells me you got a lot of work to do. So I hope you pay attention to this live and feel welcome. I'm not having it today. So
the white people, the white Afrikaners are claiming racism.
Right.
They're literally here claiming racism, racial persecution in their country.
What, baby?
So
Okay,
how can you
but
talk
that's
about that issue
and
without
that's
talking
not
about
what. But let me just be clear. That's not what Trump said. Trump said
No.
that they are economically looking for a better life. Well, people don't get to come here because they are looking for a better life. That is not what you get to do. People don't get to do it from the southern border. People don't get to come here for that. You can only come here if you meet the actual credible fear of persecution due to a number of reasons. These white South Afrikaners do not meet the standard at all. And it's not just the South African court that says that. It's also the UN that says that. It's also the humanitarian agencies that say that. And yes, they are rich. These 7 to 8% of white South Africans that live in South Africa, they own and control 70 to 73% of all farmland in the country, as well as 70% of the corporations in that country. So I don't want to hear about persecution. I don't want to hear about whatever. Here's what it is. To white people, accountability feels like persecution because you're used to privilege. That's the difference. Accountability feels like persecution because you're used to privilege.
Didn't it just hit you right in the chest?
Just saying.
It just hit, right in the chest.
That's what that is. Just so that everybody's clear.
That was perfect.
Yeah. When you are used to privilege, accountability feels like persecution, and it's not. It is simply saying, hey, we're going to level the playing field. And what they said in South Africa and what they have done several times is they have been able to incorporate with the land that the government is now taking back. It becomes a collaboration between the white Africans and the black Africans whose families originally owned that land. It becomes a co-op or collaboration, an opportunity to do so. And the only people who don't want that are the white people trying to retain control. Period.
Yeah.
That's it. So just so people know. And let me just say this. To anybody in the comments who is fragile, feels like you disagree with me, and you are man enough to bring your argument to the panel, come on in here. Now, I don't waste my time on people who can only talk in the comments. Okay, I don't do that. So if you want to come up here and have a respectful conversation, feel free to do that. Okay, other than that, you can keep that energy all the way down there. Okay, so
Okay, Dani, I'm going to drop it. It was great talking to you.
You too, always. Lisa. As always, appreciate you. Oh, let me see what I'm doing here. Antimatter, I'm waiting on you to connect. You said I don't accept. I'm waiting on you. There you go. Good morning. How are you?
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you as well. So what is it that you had to say in the comments?
The only objection I have to what you were saying is I don't believe it's anti-white oppression. These people are being killed. They're openly calling for the murder of
No, they're not. And wait, a couple of things. A couple of things. First, you have to use TikTok friendly language. You know TikTok. You cannot say those things. You can say unalived if you would like. Number two, my name is Dani, not Lady.
Listen,
okay.
Bitch, you can act fucking stupid all you want to.
Oh, here we go. Blessed Jesus. Baby carrot energy all damn day. Baby carrot energy all damn day. Do you see how quickly they are triggered? Bless it. Oh, bless it. Okay. Hi, Judy. How are you? Yeah, they was so fast. Right, Mr. Barrios. Yeah, Linda, they starting early. Yeah, holy moly guacamole. I don't think Judy meant to join up. Not so quick, sis. Not so loud, sis, please. What's up, outsider? Right, bless his heart.
Hello, how are you?
I am fantastic. How are you?
Good. I wanted to bring to the attention that, not so many years ago, this country was claiming that the Saudi prince did all kinds of terrible things, right? And they were going at it. Why are we now over there trying to be their best friends because they're giving Trump things?
Well, so here's what's interesting about this Middle Eastern tour that he is on. Good morning, Eric. Here's what's really interesting about this tour. This Middle Eastern tour does not include Israel. Did y'all know that?
Right.
It does not include Israel, and Israel feels some kind of way about it, as does Laura Loomer, Mark Levin, and Ben Shapiro. On that note, so I don't know if you all remember. So there's a couple of times that we have seen the Trump infrastructure, the Trump inside group, fracture a little bit. And if you all remember when I had a conversation with Lev Parnas, I asked him, I said, Lev, I said, this is what I feel like. I feel like there are these pockets of people, and these pockets, these groups, they support Donald Trump for their reason, right? But they don't all agree on everything else, right? So I'll give you an example. You've got the billionaires, right? The Zuckerbergs and what have you. They support Trump for the money and the monopolies, right? Appreciate you, Goldie, right? And then the other group of people are the Shapiros, the Loomers, the Steve Bannons, the Stephen Millers. They love him for the white nationalism. Then you have the Diana Harshbargers, the Mike Johnsons of the world. They love him for the Christian nationalism, right? So all of these people love him for different reasons, but they don't always, all the time, come together, right? And so just like when you saw, again, my favorite, and again, this is the only thing you'll probably ever hear me say. I'll never say never, but this is probably the only time you'll hear me say that I love something that Elon Musk said. And it's when he was defending the H-1B visas, and he said, this is a hill he's willing to unalive on. And he said, go fuck yourself in the face, right? When he said that, do you remember Laura Loomer, Steve Bannon? They fell apart. They absolutely fell apart over this, visa thing. Okay. And so they had to do something in order to put that on, put things back together again. And what did they do? What they did was his dumbass salute, right? For him to signal to that particular group of Trumpists, hey, I'm on board with this agenda, da 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 da. Well, right now, here's what you see. You see a couple of things happening. So I want to play a clip real quick of Ben Shapiro yesterday because he's real mad. I'm waiting on Nick Fuentes to have a damn breakdown, but this time it's Ben Shapiro. And he had a serious breakdown over this yesterday on his podcast. And so I'm going to share with you what he says, right? Right. That was Nick. Nick Fuentes said, would have been nice to know, but hold on. Here we go. Here's Ben. After this damn ad.
Technology and products.
I hate the
This
ads.
is the most consequential technology I've seen in my lifetime. We're on the cusp of something
Lord
truly
bless.
special in the world of AI.
It's the ad.
I'm really excited about where this technology can take
I'm
us.
turning the ad down because I don't like the ads.
I think it's super exciting.
But here we go. Yeah. So and AO Samoa, feel free to join the panel if you would like to discuss the positive changes. I'm here for it. Let's have that conversation.
Taking sacks of goodies from people who support Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood, Al Jazeera, all the rest. That's not America first. Like, please define America first in a way that says you should take sacks of cash from the Qatari royals who are behind Al Jazeera. It just isn't America first in any conceivable way. So back to the original question. Is this good for President Trump? Is it good for his agenda? Is it good for draining the swamp and getting things done? The answer is no, it isn't. It isn't. If you want President Trump to succeed, this kind of skeezy stuff needs to stop. And here's the thing. It's already having an impact. It's already having an impact.
He is so pissed. In addition to that, Laura Loomer said a couple of different things. She said, quote, I love President Trump. I would take a piece of ammunition for him. But I have to call a spade a spade. We cannot accept a $400 million gift from jihadists in suits. That's what she tweeted after that. And then she gave an interview to Politico, of all people, right? It's just absolutely, it's crazy what's being said. So yeah, Outsider, I'm with you on this fact.
And I mean, it amazes me that a doctor cannot accept a promotional pen because that is bribery from a company, but you can accept a $400 million plane. That's not bribery.
Listen, Hillary Clinton couldn't keep a $425 necklace. People haven't been able, they cannot accept any gifts, right? That happens with regular candidates, right? When you are like, say you're at a political rally, they're not allowed to give a donation to you in cash. They're not allowed to do any of those things, right? And so that's the thing that people need to understand. But if you all remember, do y'all remember that there was an investigation into Trump at the beginning of his first presidency because the Egyptians gave him $10 million in a suitcase? Do y'all remember this? And then they ended up shutting down that investigation. Bill Barr did. Do y'all remember this?
One of the many, right?
Yes. So I just think that people need to know that when we are talking about these things, because yeah, that's a real thing. So, but give me a second. I have to address something that's happening in the comments.
Well, thank you, Dani. You're wonderful.
Y'all, thank you. I appreciate you 100%. Thanks. All right. So let me just clarify, because these are the things that people don't know. Okay. Okay. So let me just be clear. The gifts that happened under the Obama administration, they were not accepted by him personally. So let me just say this. If you all remember, we have lots of things. If you've never, hey, Mia Sunshine, if you have never taken a tour of the White House, I highly recommend that you do. Because when you go through the White House and when you go through different parts of the White House, right? There's different wings and branches and all that. You see things that were donated, that were given to us, that were gifts to the presidency that are displayed throughout the White House, throughout whatever. You all know what I'm talking about? Different vases, different this, different that, blah, 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 blah. Right? So if there is a gift that is given to the president and his family, it is turned over to the National Archives or other appropriate government entities. The only other way that a president keeps a gift that is given to him is if they pay its fair market value. Got it? So that's the way that it works. So just being clear about what happens and doesn't happen. It doesn't. So while there were $300,000 worth of jewelry and ornaments and all of those things, those were not kept by Barack Obama and his family, right? The plane is a gift for the Donald Trump. Trump said the plane is his. That's what he said. So that's the thing that people need to know. There's a difference between those things. No, Mona Love, you're actually incorrect. And the reason why I know you're incorrect is because the Trump administration has said as early as today that they are still working out the legalities of how he could receive such a gift. So I just want to be clear. Just making sure. No, I'm not wrong. I'm actually well informed. You, on the other hand, don't seem to be with your 3 followers. Good morning, Swells. How are you? What you got for me this morning?
I'm wonderful, Dani. How are you?
I am fantastic. Living the dream.
Awesome. Well, I saw that Trump's, and I've done some research on it. I haven't really had the time to look at it too closely, but I did see that Trump's, big, beautiful tax bill or budget bill has come out. So I just wanted your thoughts a little bit, because one particular quote in one of the summaries that Reuter put out was, they are cutting federal funds to pay for these tax cuts. He's cutting federal funds to states that use Medicaid infrastructure to provide health care coverage to undocumented immigrants.
Correct.
And banning Medicaid from covering gender transition services for children.
Yes.
So I'm just like, I don't know what you think about that, but I just think that's another one of his attacking blue states kind of thing, to try and cut their funding for certain things. And also just the what is it? He's going to expand basically who can work under Medicaid and SNAP benefits. So, really, I think I saw that he wants to raise the SNAP benefits working requirement to 64 rather than 54. So I just didn't know if you have any thoughts on what was produced so far and how it's going to affect Medicaid and, all that stuff, because it was a huge help.
So I actually don't think that it's an attack on blue states. Whether he thinks that that's true or not, more red states use Medicaid. And believe it or not, red states, just like, okay, so think about this. When they talk about people hiring illegal immigrants, Donald Trump did the very damn thing that we're talking about. It is oftentimes the rich corporations and the Republicans that actually are doing the things that they claim other people are doing. And so what you have is, in a lot of rural places and a lot of red states, you have a significant number of undocumented immigrants that are doing a lot of the work so that they can be cheaply paid by those people. And he will end up in turn hurting his base in those red states. But here's the thing, he's not worried about it, because he will simply spin this as this is something that is left over from the Obama administration, or just like they've already said, right? He has already said that in order to save this country, people are going to have to hurt for a little bit. He said it. J.D. Vance has said it. Kevin Roberts has said it. And so, and there are people that have bought into that because of their fanaticism where Trump is concerned.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just kind of delusional at this point, but yeah, it just worried me seeing that huge cut for Medicaid, because, obviously they preached for years that they weren't going to cut Medicaid. They're not touching it. And I just, your audience is very well informed, but what Fox News and what right-leaning sources are calling this cut is tightening Medicaid.
Well, people know that it's not. And I will tell you this, I don't know that that's going to pass. And the reason why I don't is there are Republicans that are balking. I said this yesterday, and I will say it again. I never in my life thought I would ever utter these words, but for once, I agree with Josh Hawley. Imagine that. There is a world in which I agree with Josh Hawley, and here is what he said. Josh Hawley said, quote, holy geez. He said, quote, a noisy contingent of corporatist Republicans, call it the party's Wall Street wing, is urging Congress to ignore all that and get back to old-time religion, corporate giveaways, preferences for capital, and deep cuts to social insurance. This wing of the party wants Republicans to build our big, beautiful bill around slashing health insurance for the working poor. But that argument is both morally wrong and politically unaliving yourself. That is what Josh Hawley said.
Stop making me like Josh Hawley.
Listen, I don't like him, but I can agree. I read this quote yesterday and I was like, agreeing with Josh Hawley was not on my bingo card for 2025.
No, it's not on my bingo card for my life goals.
No, he's not up for election until 2030. So he's had staunch opposition to this for a long time. I will give him this. He has long been opposed to cutting these types of things for a long time. I've seen him drill several people that have like huge corporate expenses and government So like this is one area where I'm just like, okay, I can give it to Josh Hawley. I agree with him on this stance. right?
Yeah, and I live right next door to his district in Illinois, and so that's probably why he's fighting, because his district needs these social programs. I know for a fact,
and that's what he's saying, right? 100%, right? And that's what people don't. That's what people don't get. And by the way, just so that everybody gets this, he wrote this in an op-ed for the New York Times.
Get out of town.
Yes, he did.
What? Oh my Lord.
He did. He wrote it in an op-ed for the fake news New York Times.
Oh my God. He's such a hypocrite.
Here's something else he said, right? He said, if Republicans want to be a working class party, if we want to be a majority party, we must ignore calls to cut Medicaid and start delivering on America's promise for America's working people.
Is he becoming a Democrat?
I was like,
what a communist.
Like, what's in the sauce? Holy shit. Right. But that's literally what Josh said. And so my thing is, twice a day, broken clocks, all the things. You know what I mean? Like, it can happen. And I'm not mad at it. So listen, this is my thing. The margin in the House is so slim that you get a Josh, you get a Paul Rand, which by the way, Paul Rand is pissed about this damn plane, people. If you don't know, it is not just Laura Loomer. It is not just Mark Levine. It is not just Ben Shapiro that is pissed about this plane. Let me see if I can tell you the quote from oh no, I can't even talk about this whole whole person. I cannot talk about this whole person. Sorry. Jesus. The offense. All right, so let me just see really quick. Let me see if this is it. Nope, it's over here. So shut up, y'all. Don't laugh at me. Sometimes it happens before I can catch it. Sometimes. Sometimes it does. And yes, Lenny, thank you. That's what I just reached over and got.
So, Dani, I came up here originally because you were responding to someone that was claiming that you make it all about race all the time, you know, and trying to say that race isn't an issue. Mm-hmm. So I work in civil engineering. It's just my field. And part of what civil engineering does is equity studies. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that you know that the Federal Highway Aid Act of 1956 was built on racism. You know, they destroyed African American communities, minority communities with highways to make life easier for white America. So that's basically what happened in a nutshell. And so what Biden's infrastructure bill did was try to repair that. He allocated 40% of that bill just to those communities. It's called the Reconnecting Communities Grants. Yeah. And that's done millions. Like if you look at the Rondo community in St. Paul, I believe I-24 in Atlanta might have been awarded one. But every major city has a story of an African-American or a minority community that was ruined by the Federal Highway Aid Act. Yes. And what Trump is doing now, just for the people that think it's not about race, is he's trying to stop those equity studies. So he's trying to say, like in an equity study, for example, he's trying to say we can't use the word equity. Mm-hmm. How the fuck can you do that?
Yeah, I mean, equity means a lot of things. But I mean, equity applies to more than just race, right? Equity applies to, different disabilities. Equity applies to genders, to
grocery stores.
Right. Equity is a whole different thing. But this whole idea that somehow you can't talk about race is hilarious to me, or that we are somehow going to try to flip the script and make it mean something that it doesn't mean. We're not going to do that. So this is when I keep saying it is up to the people to continue to call a thing and be louder. And that's the challenge, right? Because mainstream media magnifies and amplifies everything he says. And they do it without the fact check. They do it without the facts to go along with it. Tighten, please. And that's the challenge for us, is getting as loud, if not louder than the BS that they are amplifying, right? But I finally found Rand Paul's quote. I have a couple.
I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, there's so many things. Okay, I have a couple that I want to give you. I got Rand for you guys, but I got a couple of others too. So let me tell you what Rand Paul said. He said, get that ad out of my face, please. No. It said new available yachts. Do I look like my ass can buy a yacht? No. Get the fuck out my face with that. So, oh my God, stop it. Okay. So it says, so Laura Loomer told Politico, I'm hoping that it's not true. If the initial reports are factual, I think it's concerning. This is what Rand Paul said. I don't think it looks good or smells good. There's just a lot of foreign policy decisions, and I think people will think it could possibly sway your decision-making process. You think? A $400 million damn jet, right? And then Loomer says, quote, Qatar is not our friend. Her whole thing, she was so pissed. Okay, so let me just tell y'all, I get a small amount of pleasure that she's angry with Donald Trump because she really thought she was going to fill in the Melania gap. And then when people started talking about her being on the plane with him, he kicked her ass to the curb so far. It was absolutely hilarious. But I'm just.
Can you imagine being dumped by that orange turd?
Oh my God. I can't imagine being in a position to be dumped. Like, but she said, so they asked her, Politico asked her if she would personally speak to Trump about her concerns. And she said, look, this is her quote. Look, I don't tell the president what to do. My posts are pretty viral in their own nature. So I think that the message will probably get to him. I know that I'm not the only person who is a diehard Trump supporter who is concerned about whether or not this is true. I want to be clear in saying that I am eager to see what the president and his team at the White House are going to say about this. And then Trump said, right, called ABC fake news, blah, blah, blah. He said, I think it's a great gesture from Qatar. I appreciate it very much. I would never be one to turn down that kind of offer. We know. We fucking know. That's the problem, right? That's the problem. And so she said, after watching his remarks, she said, look, I understand the reasoning about not wanting to burden the United States taxpayer with $400 million, but it's going to complicate foreign policy about the designation of the Muslim Brotherhood as a T organization, which was promised and undelivered in the first Trump administration. It's kind of this elephant in the room as Trump goes to the Middle East, end quote. Holy G's. And then you got Andy Ogles from Tennessee. All right, Cam. Andy Ogles from Tennessee. Hey, Tracy. He inserted language into an annual defense policy bill that would require the Pentagon to submit a report and provide a briefing on the value of keeping the largest U.S. Air Force air base in the Middle East in Qatar. In Qatar. And then it says, and he said, quote, his office said, quote, given Qatar's relationship with Hamas, the T-Band, and other organizations. What? That's the reason? What?
No.
It's the craziest shit ever. And
But
so
this is why MAGA twists themselves into pretzels to excuse his behavior, because he does the same thing.
yes.
And all of his staff is doing the same thing to excuse us. Whereas I work in consulting, civil engineering. I can't buy a DOT rep a cup of fucking coffee.
No.
Okay?
Yep.
Like, can't do it. I will be fired and my company will be red listed.
Yep. 100% all days.
It's insane.
So let me tell you what else is being said about this plane amongst Trump people, right? So listen, nice. So let me just tell you what the Trump administration is trying to do now. They are trying to spin it. Let me just be clear. They are trying to spin it as if, oh, it's a gift to the U.S. government. Oh, it's a gift to the country. The fuck it is. No, it ain't. He already said what he said. The National Archives does not need a $400 million plane. That ain't a thing. What are they going to do with it? Just look at it? And by the way, could we also talk about the enormous amount of money? So he wants to position it as if, you know, Boeing needs to redo Air Force One. Let me just say this. Do you have any idea the amount of work that would have to be done? Yeah, baby. Okay. Do you want to plug it up? It's right there.
I want you to do it.
You want me to do it? I can do it while I'm talking. Do you all have any idea the amount of customization that would have to be done to this plane for it to pass security, for it to have the appropriate comms, the promotion, the appropriate communication capabilities? All of those things do not currently exist and would cost a ton of money to make happen. Mila, where'd you put the charger? What do you mean you don't know? Listen, little girl, I plugged, here it is. Oh, so you're just gonna pet Titan while I'm looking for the stuff you lost. Okay, girl, I see how you're doing today. Where's your phone? Here. Okay. You and Titan are on my nerves. He's on my desk. You're behind him petting him. They are just doing the most. Okay. You want to sit on my lap? Just very quickly. You can say hi to people. Very quickly.
Oh, you're so beautiful. I've never seen you.
Say thank you.
That's so cute. Oh, are you sick?
No, she just.
Oh my goodness.
Listen, don't hype her up because she is my Oscar-winning, Grammy-winning, Tony Award-winning, Academy Award-winning, all the things. Uncle Doug said hi.
Hi.
Okay. She is something. She is extra with it, 100%. EGOT, you got it. Emmys, Grammys, Oscars, Tonys, you got it. Okay. Tell everybody bye.
Bye.
All right, girl. Head on. Oh, what is it? You just want to be on my lap?
Down.
Huh?
Don't want me to fall down.
I'm not letting you fall down. All right, go ahead. Thank you very much. Tutu has a surprise for you later, too. The floor is lava? Well, you got to put the pillows down on the carpet for it to be lava. Oh.
Thanks for having me up, Dani.
Yeah.
I just hate when I hear people say it's not about race. And
Oh,
it's
no.
like our country was built on racism, and our highway system is an absolute evidence of that. And say what you want about Biden and his history with racism. You know, like I feel like every man's going to have that, but he tried in his administration to rectify some things.
So here's my thing. I said this about Joe Biden in 2020. Let me see. In 2020, 2019, 2020, when the election was coming up. And here's my thing. Let me say this. Plug it back up, sissy, because I'm not doing it. I just did it for you. Okay, well then I guess you won't have your phone. Plug it up. So here's my thing. I am never, ever, ever surprised when I find an 80-year-old white man that has in his lifetime said something racist, prejudiced, or anything like that, because that is the time period in which they were born and raised. What I'm interested in is when did they say these things and what have they said since then, right? And what I know is that Joe Biden has taken ownership of the things that he said. He has said that he was wrong, and he has absolutely said, "Yep, my bad. I got it." And I'm doing the work to do better. I frankly believe 8 years in the White House with a black family, seeing firsthand, up close and personal, what they endured in this country, I believe it taught him a lot about racism in America. I really, truly do. And the fact that he's able to say, "Hey, I was wrong. I got it," whatever, then for me, I'm okay with that. I'm not, it's like what you did, but then I want to see what you've got. And the difference is glaring, right? Instead, what you've got is, they found a nodule in Joe Biden's prostate during a physical exam. No. I hope he's well. Right. He owned it and is trying to rectify it. Sorry, the news flash just came right across my little thing. But let me just say this, right? Own it and then take the steps to rectify it. Unlike Donald Trump, who continues to say racist things, knows that he's using racist dog whistles, right? Knows that, is fully aware of it. And even when faced with the fact that he's wrong, for example, the Central Park Five, refuses to admit that he's wrong and then doubles down on his racism, right? And so for me, that's the difference between those two 80-year-old white men.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
the difference between the two of them. And that is why I cannot stomach the latter of them. One of many reasons why I cannot stomach the latter of those two individuals. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
But appreciate you, Swells.
Thank you so much, Dani. Have
You're
a good
welcome.
day.
You too. All right. So let me go ahead and share the rest of this with you guys so that we can get into the rest of it. So this also, so here we go again, not on the bingo card. Get ready to be like, what the F is it? Are we in the upside down world? Which we are, but maybe we're in the, I don't even know. This is the upside down world with a twist. Are you ready? So, Gabriella, we all know why Elon is in Saudi Arabia with Trump. I mean, everybody knows that, right? They are brokering business deals that serve their pockets. That's why he's there. Everybody should know that. This is not for me, it's not a surprise. Okay, but let me tell you what else Ben Shapiro said on his podcast yesterday. He said, quote, I think if we switched the names to Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, we'd all be freaking out on the right. And he's referring to Trump accepting the plane from Qatar. When Ben Shapiro says, if this was Hunter and Joe Biden, we'd all be freaking out. Y'all, listen. I was like, what the hell? He also said, quote, the administration's policy is too important for this sort of activity. President Trump promised to drain the swamp. This is not, in fact, draining the swamp. He also linked the potential Qatari deal with other reports of quote unquote influence peddling, like Trump's cryptocurrency sweepstakes. Holy jeez. It's just absolutely nuts to me that I never thought I would say. So when Laura Loomer posted and she said, quote, this is really going to be such a stain on the admin if it's true. And I say that as someone who would take a, pew-pew for Trump. I'm so disappointed. Mark Levin commented, he shared her post and then said ditto, right? So it's no secret that that they have now got a rift again. And so what is the next thing that I would expect? I would expect some sort of racist dog whistle, racial signaling. The same way we saw when we saw this split within the Trump people last time, right? And then you saw Elon turn around and give the schmotzy salute, right? The same way you saw that the last time there was a split within their rift. I think you're going to turn around and see something else that is similar to such a thing. Now, I also do not believe that there is a Cassie's testifying right now, which we'll get to that here in just a second. But I also think that there's no coincidence in the timing, right? I believe that the timing of all this talk about a $400 million plane, all this, the executive order bullshit yesterday with Trump saying he's going to negotiate pharmaceutical prices and get them down by 80 to 90%. And he's giving them 30 days to do it as if he can do such a thing, which he cannot. It's just absolutely nuts, right? Scrap meat. Why did Hunter go to China with Joe? Why did Pete Hegseth's wife go with him? Family members go on travel. The last I checked, Elon is not related to Donald Trump. The last I checked. You want to try again? Go ahead. Take your time. Come up with something else and give it a whirl. And let's see what I got for you. Okay. Just, take your time. Don't hurt yourself. Come up with something really good that you think I won't have a comeback for. Go ahead. I'll be right here. All right. So next, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the white South Afrikaners because we talked about them in depth yesterday. I told y'all I'm not here for it today, right? I love y'all back. I appreciate that, rock and roll. I appreciate that. Rock and roll says, as a Trump supporter, he shouldn't take the plane. I agree. Now, if they want to give other gifts that are going to be on display in the White House and turned over to the National Archives, I think that's fine, right? Because that's what other presidents have done in the past. The plane is not a thing, right? Yes, this image is from some of the white South Africans that came here yesterday. Yes, absolutely, it is. And when they came, why have pharmaceutical stocks fell since Trump's order? First of all, I don't know that they have. B, I don't give a shit about stock markets. Yeah, you know, like there's a lot of reasons. Maybe the pharmaceutical stocks fell because Congress rolled out a big, beautiful bill that proposed to cut $880 million in Medicare, Medicaid funding. That could have an impact on pharmaceutical stocks, right? If you're going to cut Medicaid that goes to undocumented immigrants and to young people, that could fuck with the pharmaceutical stock market. Scrap meat. Just saying. It probably would be that, right? And here's why it could be that. Because Congress actually does laws. Those laws are a real thing. Congress controls the budget, right? Okay, Stacey, right? And so if Congress says, right, yeah, we're cutting almost $1 billion from Medicaid, right? Then pharmaceutical companies are going to pay attention to that because it's fucking Congress. And Congress sets the budget, not the president. Yeah. So pharmaceutical companies don't give a shit about that executive order because he did one similar to it before. And they didn't give a damn now, and they don't give a damn then. Next. You can try again. If you want, you can try again. And let me just say this, before you ask me about Medicaid and undocumented immigrants, I suggest that you find out exactly what happens and how the undocumented immigrants get the Medicaid that they do get. You might want to find that out before you come asking me about it, because I do know how they get it. You probably do not, judging by what you keep saying. Just saying. And before that, you could also read 8 USC 1611. That's a great law for you to start with. Again, try that. Okay. So, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So I think that the plane is exactly what the plane is, right? I do think that it's a bribe from Qatar. At the same time, I think there's no coincidence in the timing of these things. It's just that simple, right? I just don't think there's a coincidence. So Scrap Meat, I went ahead and requested that you come up because you have a lot to say in the comments. So come on up. Where are you at, Scrap Meat? Yes, baby. I'm working. What are you doing, baby? Oh. No. Scrap Meat, where'd you go?
No, mommy, you hear the whiz? No! You're not beating me, bro.
Where are you at, Scrap Meat? I'm waiting. I'm not going to wait much longer. I can't imagine, Magucha. I can't imagine. Where'd you go? See, this is my thing, right? I am fine to have a conversation. You don't have to go live. All you have to do is hit the little blue and pink button down at the bottom and come on in. That's all you got to do. She is 100%. Yeah, let me and it shouldn't be that hard because I sent you an invitation. Like literally all you have to do is accept it. I just sent it again for the second time. So you should be able to just accept it and it'll put you right up in the box. Where are you? No. Wow. And I think it's important to talk about what you're referring to when you talk about Joe Biden and a cut to Medicare. I think it's important that we talk about what the actual cut was and that it wasn't Biden that made the cut, that it was Congress that made the cut. And he signed it to avoid a government shutdown, right? That's what it was. That was it was part of. But when you understand that what it was included in was a cut to Medicare Advantage, right? Mila, not so loud, babe. Now, Medicare Advantage is the Medicare Part C that people are having problems with. So traditional Medicare was not cut by the Biden administration. It was actually Medicare Advantage. Now, Medicare Advantage is run by private health insurance companies like United and all these other places. And the problem that hospitals are having, and the reason why many hospitals are cutting back and not accepting certain Medicare Advantage plan programs is because they are paying less than the national average reimbursement for procedures and things that are being done there. So the reason that Medicare Advantage is causing such an issue is because they are reimbursing hospitals at a rate that is less than the national average, which is why we need to do something about big pharma and big insurance and big healthcare corporations all together. They all suck. So just wanted to throw that in there for you in case you had something else to say. It seems you suddenly don't know how to work TikTok. And the blue and pink people at the bottom for you are troubling. It seems like you're having trouble with just touching the blue and pink people at the bottom. It's crazy. I don't know how such a smart gentleman like yourself could have trouble with just like 5 icons at the bottom of your phone and not being able to touch one and then request to come up. There's even like a screen. There's even a square on my screen that says request. You can even touch that square that's on the right-hand side of your screen. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that, someone with your intelligence would have a problem with that. You did all that? I don't think so. I literally just sent you the 3rd invitation. Okay. Right. So just so we know, well, Medicaid is a combination. You're right. It's state. But the federal funds they also include state funds. Oof. Hold on one second. Yeah. So give me one second. So yeah, That's what I thought. So it is not just that the states are distributing federal funds. It's Medicaid is a joint federal and state program. There are federal and state dollars included in Medicaid. So it's not just federal funds. It is federal and state funds. So just wanted to make that clarification for the folks on Facebook and YouTube, where that came in. Yeah, baby.
I want some.
You can have those. Yeah, you can have them. All right. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Right. So, listen, when people want to be trolls, they can be trolls. I'm just going to give correct information and we're going to go from there. All right. So the takeaways that we have for the white South Africans that are coming here. When Donald Trump ended the refugee program in February of this year, it left hundreds, if not thousands, of people who have been going through the refugee process for years, stranded in the countries where they actually met the refugee requirement. In other words, they were fearing persecution where they were. And those people, thanks, Vincia. Those people were just abandoned, right? Which is horrible and indefensible, in my opinion. In addition to that, to then go ahead and prioritize refugee status for people that, number one, do not meet the legal requirements for refugee status because they are white South Africans who, by the way, are not being persecuted, are not being unalived, are not victims of G-side. They make up 7 to 8% of the population and control 70% of the corporations, as well as own 70 to 73% of the farmland in South Africa, right? So the reality is this has nothing to do with these people being persecuted. It has to do with white supremacy. It has to do with white nationalism. It has to do with Elon Musk. It has to do with their desire to make America white again because they are afraid that America will not be the white again place that it was back in the 40s and 50s, right? Because what we know is black and brown people are having babies at a rate that is much faster than white people. Those are the facts. So people don't have to MAGA, right? Make America white again. That is the thing. And yes, and it is farmland that they stole from native South Africans. And let me just tell you this, that alone makes them ineligible for refugee status here. If you participated in apartheid and any of that, you don't get to come here. You don't. So just so we're clear about that, it literally says if you participated in those types of things, then you don't qualify to get refugee status here. What's up, Mama Yaya? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I am just fine. What you got for me?
So, I don't want to make any assumptions,
Mm-hmm.
but this Afrikaner thing, back in February, what's that guy's name? The Prince guy that owns Blackwater? The Blackwater mercenary group?
Oh, I don't know. Watch the M word, though. Watch the M word on TikTok.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead, though.
Yeah. Well, the Blackwater outfit.
Yes, Thriller Mistress, they are. Eric Prince, Jen said. Eric Prince.
Okay, yeah. He made a proposal for taking over a large portion of the ICE raids in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Part of his proposal, he indicated that he would need to secure people from outside countries because he didn't feel that the U.S. military and or the citizens of the U.S. would be on board with some of the extreme tactics, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and made a proposal that they bring 1,000 soldiers from abroad to help with the deportation.
Well, that's not these people. And I can tell you because this picture right here is literally those people getting off of a plane yesterday.
Right. I understand that.
Yeah.
But if you are making an attempt to resettle people who are upset about an apartheid state being dismantled, and you're settling this first group. I don't know. I just find it a little intriguing that you would pick those folks from that place that want to leave for that reason, bring them to the United States when there's already this proposal to bring people from other countries that want to help maintain the whiteness of America.
Yeah, no, so I'm not surprised because South Africa is where Elon Musk is from. So,
Exactly.
so it doesn't surprise me at all. I don't think that these two things are related because Eric Prince has already joined in the operations. He started joining in April and participating in raids and people being detained and all those types of things. So I just he not here. Let me back up.
Okay.
Let me back up. He is doing them in other places right now for other countries that how do I want to say this? Here's my thing. I think that people are the people that would come, let me back up. The people that would come from South Africa, the white South Africans, they are not military people. They are not soldiers, right? That's not who these particular people are. I think there are other places where you can get soldiers in a lot of places. Mo L, not everybody believes in heaven. So you can live your life according to your religion and other people will live their lives according to theirs or lack thereof. And we're not in heaven right now. So since we're not in heaven, we will live by the law of the land as Jesus said to, right? And Jesus said we will deal with what's happening right here in this world right now, and then we have dominion. So since we are here and not in heaven, there is race. Race is a thing, right? Race is a thing. And so while we are here and we will deal with what is here, we will deal with race. Sorry, that irritated my soul.
Oh, that's okay.
For fuck's sake. Listen, this is the thing that gets me. Here's what we're not going to do today. We will not use Jesus to support your racism. That's what we won't do. And what we won't do is sit around and tell Black people, oh, just wait until the by and by. When you're up in the heavenlies, God's going to bless all of you people that have been taken advantage of. You just wait. You just wait. It's okay for you to be just like disenfranchised and taken advantage of. It's okay that life is shitty here and the police are killing your young Black men at 2.5 times the rate of white men. It's okay that 1 in 3 Black boys are going to find their way into the prison system at some point in their life. You just wait till you get to heaven. It'll all be better, honey. It's okay. You just don't worry about a thing. Jesus will give it all back to you. Meanwhile, my rich white children are going to go to private school. They're going to have access to health care. They're going to do everything that they need to get done. And guess what? We'll just make sure that we just bail them out of prison. We'll just make sure that it never even makes it to the courthouse because, you know, my daddy is friends with the judge down the street. Honey, but you just, it'll be okay. You will bide your time, your patience. Gosh, you just inspire me. I couldn't imagine. You're so incredible. Fuck out of here with that.
For 400 years, we are not our ancestors.
The fuck out of here with that. I cannot. That's what we not going to do today. Not at all. And if you would like to come and talk to me about the Bible, let's go. I can get mine off the shelf right now. You said, did you just say I don't like white people? Come tell my white mama that. See, there you go. Talking about shit you know nothing about. Got a whole ass half of my family white people. I just don't like you. And you are not all white people. It's just you. I don't like you. See, that's how that works. I don't have to apply it to all white people. I just don't like you.
And that's not racist. That's preference.
Yeah, that's just preference. I don't like you. So anyway, all my white friends in the comments that know I love you, put a little black heart in the comments for me, just so Mo L gets an idea of how much I love my white folk, just not her. Look at them black hearts. Here they go. There they go. Look at them. Doom, 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 doom. Look at all them white people I love. Look at them. And they know I love them too. They know I love them. Ain't that some shit, Mo L? You tried love and failed. It's just you. It ain't everybody else. It's just you. Whew. Thank you, Tammy, for that black heart over there on Facebook. You know I love you too. Absolutely. Just not you. Okay. Sorry. We done went all the way around the world. Terry Bora, really? I'm just saying. Right, G. Weber. Appreciate it. So here's my thing. I think that the people that they need to bring in, or that they would need to bring in for that, wouldn't come from there. I do think that I would not be surprised. Let me just say this. I would not be surprised if there is a connection to some of the mass people that you see that are participating in these things, right? So I wouldn't be surprised in that. Let me just look real quick at something real quick. Whoop. She says she's retired and living her best life. You are living your best life from the comments, though, aren't you? Because I invited you to come up to the panel. I don't see you here yet. Yeah. So basically, where we stand in terms of public knowledge is just that he has made proposals and has been involved in conversations about participating in them. I don't know if he is or not in the U.S. I know he has been in Ecuador and other places. Right, Mr. Barrios. Bless her heart. But yeah. So.
Okay, Dani. Well, you've got a military background, and without saying much about much, there's some understanding that they may be putting some camps for him at some military bases.
Yep, 100%. And I would not be surprised at any of that.
Yeah. So with this idea that he needs 1,000 additional soldiers from outside of the U.S., that just kind of set off some alarms for me yesterday.
As it should. Here's what I would say about that is I think that might be too far too fast. And if it was done, I think it would be something they would try to do very quietly. But I got a friend I'll check with.
Yeah, and that's kind of my thing is like, do you start this as this resettlement because they're being treated poorly when we know that's not the case? And then you get us used to the resettlement of all of these Afrikaners showing up because now they're all part of this being abused and mistreated by the South African government. And then you start bringing in more and more planes full of folks that we no longer are, paying that much attention to because now we've gotten used to it, but you're bringing them over here for nefarious reasons.
Right. So I want to clarify something. When people say that there are 2 million military personnel, there are only 1.3 million active duty. So when we talk about military personnel, those are people that work on military posts and installations. They are not soldiers. We have the United States military has approximately 1.3 active duty military. So we do not have 2 million. No, we do not. You're off by 700,000, just so everybody knows. But yeah, no, I definitely think it's something to watch. And I'm just going to reach out to a friend of mine and see if they've got any details. But yeah, appreciate that, Mama Yaya. All right, let's see who else is in here. Oh Lord, am I getting you 2 days in a row, love? go, Sammy J. All right, Lisa K, what you got for me? Lisa K, did you mean to request up? Oh, you buddy. Yeah. I'm just saying, y'all laughing at me because I'm not having it today. Yeah, it's static. You don't know what happened. Oh, I figured you were, Sammy J. I figured go ahead with all your sass and appreciate you. Stacy sent that to me.
So I've been reading a little bit about South Africa and what is and isn't happening there. And I just wanted to share that what I have found is that there are people being unalived, but they don't report their unalivings by race. It's just like these are the number of people that have been unalived. But you know who has definitely been being unalived there is women.
Yes.
Women. And given the population, given the overall demographics and whatever, those are most likely Black women being unalived in South Africa is what I have found.
Yes.
That is what I have read.
Yes.
So I don't know why we're not bringing Black women from South Africa, because that's who's actually being unalived. I mean, I know why, but
right.
I'm just kind of saying, like, it's not the farmers. I read that there was it was like 4,600 some people that were unalived. 12 of them were farmers.
12. Right. 12
were farmers out of thousands of people.
Yep.
And most of which were women.
Yes. 100%.
We're not bringing the women.
Yep.
You know, so it's just crazy. You know, what's crazy to me, and it's so the hypocrisy of like, okay, all the illegals, all the immigrants, get out of here, stalking people at their immigration appointments. So people are obviously trying to do the right thing, deporting the wrong people because they got the wrong name and all this other nonsense. And everybody's okay with it. Everybody's justifying it because America first and jobs and blah, blah, blah. But now they want to be quiet.
Right.
Because this is not America first.
Right.
And I don't know why any of them are in the comments justifying it.
Yeah. Well, and just so everybody understands is that the unaliving rate in South Africa actually decreased in 2023. So it was less than 2022. 2022 is where it is when it peaked. So yeah.
Can we invite up America First from the comments? They say.
Oh, I did already.
Oh wow.
I did already. They just a little keyboard warrior.
I just want to know how this is America First. Like, this has been their thing, right? That we need we need manufacturing to come back. By the way, this quote unquote deal with China didn't bring manufacturing back like y'all said this nonsense would, and he really got nothing out of it.
It's never going to.
And yeah, exactly.
So here's the thing, America First, you either have to join the panel or you're going to be muted or booted from the live because you're spewing disinformation. And I'm not going to let you keep doing that. Yeah, I just want to be clear.
Yeah, people who are undocumented do not qualify for benefits, but they are actually going to put these South Africans are actually going to get benefits coming over here. So explain that to me.
Yeah. So he doesn't want to explain anything. And I sent 3 invitations. I'm sending no more. They no longer exist here. There's no box for them anymore. They're blocked. I did a full ass block. There's no box for them. There's no joining. Because I'm not doing the fuckery today. I'm just not.
They got nothing to say.
Yeah. So it's very clear, just so that everybody gets this. Feel free to look up 8 USC. USC stands for United States Code 1611. What that will tell you is that undocumented immigrants they do not qualify to get federal benefits. They do not get Social Security. They do not get Medicare. They do not get federal SNAP benefits. That's not what they get. So just so everyone is clear, they don't qualify for those things. The only thing that they can get is through their states. If their state has laws that says, if, for example, and I give this one all the time, is in the state of New York, if you are a working undocumented immigrant and you are paying your taxes, you can purchase health insurance through Healthy New York. That's what you can do. So Just saying that. So, good afternoon, JW. What's up?
I was just gonna say that's a state thing. You know, that's ruled on by the state, and there's no federal dollars paying for that, or state dollars paying for
Correct. They purchase it. So,
yeah.
Yep. Hey, JW, how are you?
Hey, Dani, I'm doing great. Hope you're doing great as well. Other than not taking this nonsense today, I love it.
I'm not taking any of it. I got zero time today for it.
Good. That's how we all need to be.
Yeah, I'm not doing it today.
So my theory behind this whole Afrikaners thing, Republicans are very quickly losing the support of their constituents.
They are.
I'm really curious as if they are going to try to rush citizenship for these people, bring them in,
so they can
rush
vote
citizenship, and put them in places where they cannot afford to lose, like Texas.
Like, they would love to tip the scales in Georgia. They would love to do it in Virginia. They would love to do it in North Carolina. They would love to do it in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. They would love to do it. Like, I could pick the places where they would love to do it. Yeah, so this is my thing. Ohio's pretty solidly red, Mama Dukes. It's not going anywhere. But but the question would be is the sheer number of them, and if it's possible, because so far they've only agreed for 1,000 of them to come here. Like, that's it.
But that's just the initial. They need to get those numbers up.
Yep, they do. The problem is that by doing this, so I think that what they're not counting on is the people in South Africa. Yeah, they said long term 8K is the goal, Vincia, but 1,000 is what they have proposed for this first batch. They brought the first 49 of those already over. So 1,000 is the plan for immediate, and the first 49 of those, and over the entire process, however long that is 8,000. Yeah. So here's my thing. I don't believe, I think that once white South Afrikaners see the lack of welcome, they might decide to stay where they at. They might have thought the grass was greener in America and then be like, oh shit, nah, I think I'm just gonna stay right where I'm at.
I think they're running here because they think the same thing that these people that voted for this man thought, which is he's going to uphold white supremacy. He's going to do that. And I agree. I think they're going to go back running when they realize, like, hey, it's hard over here.
Well, but I think the other folks aren't going to come when they see, because like you saw yesterday, the Episcopalian church said, nah, we're not resettling nobody. We disagree. When the church says no, and listen, it wasn't the Pentecostal church. It wasn't the Church of God in Christ. It wasn't black churches that said no, right? It was the Episcopal church that said, nah, no thanks. I think we're going to protest, right? Yeah. So you can just know that if the Episcopalian church said no, the United Methodists ain't even an option, right? Because the United Methodists be putting Black Lives Matter and LGBTQ plus flags in their yard. So they not going to do it, right? So I'm just saying, when the Christians are like, we'll pass, you might have a problem.
Yeah. I keep just wondering, like, why Texas? Why would they bring those people here? And I also know Texas is extremely gerrymandered.
Yes.
Like, the last election we had, every large city was purple. And everything outside of it was red, and it still went to red. So that's how heavily gerrymandered we are. And these people are supposed to be farmers. Yep. They're putting them in those spaces to get more votes in those spaces. That's my theory.
I just don't think that they're going to be able to do enough of them for it to make a difference. I really don't. And I think the things that people don't realize is I keep telling people, when people say that 2/3 of America voted for Donald Trump, it's not accurate. 2/3 of registered voters participated in the election. And of those 2/3, he didn't even get half.
Right.
So that's the thing that people need to, I really want people to remember this, okay? And if I could just drive that point home a little bit further, he didn't even get half, and she only campaigned for 107 days. That joker has been campaigning for 10 fucking years straight.
Yep.
I need y'all to understand, Donald Trump has been campaigning for 10 years straight. Right? Come on. I really want y'all to listen. That joker has been campaigning for 10 years, tried to pull off a coup, wanted to unalive the vice president. Like, I'm just, listen, there's not too much he has not tried. There's not, I mean, seriously. And he still can't get any further than he's already been.
Yes.
Right? And I think that that's the thing that people don't realize, right? And right. And here's my thing, right? I really think that people should need to kind of pull this in. Right. He only got 1.5% more than she did, and it wasn't 50%. It wasn't 50%. And then you had Elon Musk offering people $1 million to vote, right? They putting the election on a damn sweepstakes. Like, what's the old man? Fuck Ed. Ed's not coming with a Publishers Clearinghouse check. Elon is showing up with a voting check. Like, that's what they tried to do. Y'all remember when Ed McMahon used to be the Publishers Clearinghouse and show up with the balloons and a check? Y'all know what I'm talking about? I'm showing my age right here. If y'all don't know who that is, sorry. But the old folk, y'all get it. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Oh, Blue Eyes, you don't like fuck? You don't like cursing? Well, I don't know why you'd have a problem with it. What's the problem? So listen, if you don't like my language, I would say this. You should 100% leave my live and go contribute to PBS. That is a really clean language, clean, friendly, child-friendly organization. I think you would love PBS. I think you should go donate to them right now and start watching them all the time. I think that would be a great place for you. Okay. Anyway, I'm just not here for it today. So, yeah. Yep. Do PBS, do NPR. Yes, 100%. Then turn around and do like BBC and The Guardian. You can do, and Politico, throw them in there too. Just do all of that. 100%. So, no, none, Tracy, none. But no, yeah. So I'm with you, JW. And I think that is something that, I think that people should 100% be talking about those things, right? Appreciate it, Doug. See you later. I think people should talk about it, and bring awareness to it, because I'm gonna tell you now, that's something that MAGAs won't like. The idea of being replaced.
Agreed.
It's always them. So listen, here's the thing. Here's what they like to do. They want to tell you that an outsider is going to come in and hurt you, like the outsiders from the southern border. But then they bring in outsiders who just happen to be less melanated, right? And then those are the people that actually end up doing damage.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. He has lost a lot of his voter base. Like, the people who are left now are the true village idiots.
So, I don't call them names now.
Okay, I won't. But it's you have to be the extremist.
So this is what I literally say. There's a difference between MAGA and Republicans. And there are a lot of people that are like, yeah, no, not a thing that we can buy into anymore. Especially, right. And it is typically going to be, I believe, the two people that are there. Well, the 1% is going to stay there for the money, most of them. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you have your Christian nationalist and your white nationalist. Right? Oh, thanks, Mia Sunshine. Those are going to be the people that are left. Right? So just saying. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, Dani.
All right.
That's all I had.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for joining.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
You too.
All right. Katniss. Hopefully you mean Katniss Everdeen, right? So I can do this right here. And that's what you mean? Katniss, did you mean to request up? So Anissa, I disagree. So whenever you see people like Paul Rand, Mitch McConnell, Josh Hawley, whenever you see those staunch Trump supporters speaking out against him, it leads for issues for the Trump administration. I'm just saying, it leads to big issues, especially when it comes to legislation in the Trump administration. I really do. So, oh, no problem, Katniss, no problem. So I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of how this all comes down. Now, the important part is that we don't sit around and wait on to see what they're going to do. The bottom line is, and this is why those of you all who say, oh, well, my representative is a Republican, right? My representative supports Trump. Should I even bother? Yes, you should. The reason why you should is the more people in your districts that let those people know, let those Republican representatives know that they will lose support or gain support depending upon how they respond to them. A lot of them only went along with Trump because they thought they would lose their base if they didn't agree with him. The more people that let them know that they will gain more supporters when they ditch him, the more likely you are to see them stand up and have a spine when it comes to Trump and what he's trying to do, because they can't afford dissent in any way, shape, or form. So I think that that's important for us all to keep pushing. And the conversations have to be rooted in the data and rooted in the facts, right? That's what it has to be. So for those of you all who don't, let me see if I can find it really quickly. So for those of you that weren't in here, let me see if I can. Please let me find it quickly. Yeah, margins are slim everywhere. I need to see. Oh, that reminds me, I got to do ballad stuff. Jesus. Yes, Alan, I have some ballad work on my plate that I'm really excited about, by the way. Sorry, that just made me happy. It really did make me happy.
Hey, I just put a phone number in the comments. I don't know if it came up or not because I don't know if TikTok will let you put a phone number.
It's there.
Okay. That phone number, if you call, it's to the operator and you just tell them where you live or who your rep is, and they will connect you to your rep's office. You just call that one number, and no matter where you are in the United States, and they'll connect you with your rep's office. I called my rep yesterday. My rep is Derek Schmidt. Like, he is a Trump Republican all day, every day. But I called anyway, and yeah, all of us can call our reps today using that phone number, 202-224-3121, and let them know about how you feel about these white tea South Afrikaners coming over here. Let them know how you feel about the $8 billion cut to Medicaid that's going to take millions off their healthcare plan. Let them know how you feel.
Yep. Okay. So I want to do this for you guys. And I keep saying that I'm going to put it in my Google Drive, and I really am going to today so that I can give you guys some information. Oh, this is going to be part of tomorrow night's training. So remember that tomorrow night, I'm doing a free workshop for anybody that wants to come. You can go to my link tree, which is in all of my bios and all of my profiles on social media. It's the very first link that's in there to RSVP to come to it. It's called Good Trouble Training. But one of the things we're going to be talking about is how to use information and facts in your neighborhoods, in your social media posts, in your efforts and your language with your legislators, in all the things that you do, in your letters to the editor. How do you use this information effectively, right? And so one of the things that we talked about, remember when they cut off all the U.S. aid and all of that, and how it impacted farmers. And even though they were like, oh, the courts reversed that and all of that, I think it's important to realize and to remind people that if it wasn't for the courts, right, you'd be fucked. I hesitated because I wasn't going to say the word, but I decided to do it just because somebody didn't like my language. If it wasn't for the courts, farmers would have been absolutely done the very first cut to U.S. aid, right? And you're still done with all of the tariffs and all the other things, right? But remember when I pulled these up for you and I shared with you what the U.S. aid agriculturally and how it was tied to the states, okay? So this is the part that's important. So we just talked about Texas, right? So if I pull up Texas, here's what's important to understand. Texas businesses that partner with USAID is Keurig, Dr. Pepper, National Sorghum Producers, Zetio Biomedical, DeKalb Genetics Corporation, Meridian Biotech, Breedlove Foods. Texas nonprofits that get money from USAID, the Caris Foundation, the Borlaug Institute for International Agriculture, universities that got money funding from USAID, Baylor, Texas A&M, Tarleton, Texas State University, Texas Tech, University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston, West Texas A&M, right? And then there were 9 large-scale Texas farmers who fulfilled direct orders for humanitarian food assistance. All of those were impacted by USAID. And I don't know how much of it, when it was reversed, they got back. But how do you take this and other stats, like what percentage of your school's funding, of your state's education funding is federal funding? And what do you do if you lose it? What percentage of your population in your state is on Medicaid, right? Those are numbers and facts that you can take. This is why you come to the training, Wawa. This is why you come to the workshop tomorrow, so that you don't have to write that fast. And you can take screenshots of the information when I pull it up, right? Yep, it's higher in red states. And so these are the things that we're going to be talking about tomorrow, and how to do it effectively, how to message effectively when you're writing an op-ed, when you are writing, like an ad in the paper, or even your social media posts. Guys, believe it or not, there is a way to do these things and to do them so that they are effective at a higher rate than usual. So if you have not done so, I highly recommend that you go into, matter of fact, you don't got to listen to me. Ask the people that have been to my trainings before. If you've ever been to a training and you recommend it, put a red heart in the comments. Yes, Aline, I'm recording it. So again, hey, Deb, red heart if you've ever been to a workshop and you recommend it. Yeah, TikTok's just doing the thing. So it is free. I don't ask you to do shit but RSVP and show up. That's it. Okay. And then I give you about an hour and a half of my time, sometimes a little bit longer than that, depending upon the discussion. And the idea is to walk away equipped on how to share with other people in your circles of influence so that you can make a difference in your local community and in your state, right? Because that's how we make a national a change. It's at 7 p.m., Veronica, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Ali G, if you go to my TikTok profile and you click my link tree that's there, in my link tree, the very first link that's there, it says Good Trouble Training, Dani Cook. Click that link. Click May 14th. It's the only date that's lit up with a circle. And then put your information in. And then you will get emailed the Zoom link to attend. Do me a favor. Do not share the Zoom link with other people who haven't RSVP'd, because the Zoom cuts off at 100 people. And so if extra people show up that did not RSVP, it can cause issues. So share the link for people to RSVP rather than sharing the Zoom link. Okay. So that's the way you want to do it. But we're going to be talking about all of these things, and we're going to be talking about healthcare, right? What does it look like if Medicaid gets cut, especially in rural places, small towns, where a large percentage of the population uses that for insurance? What happens to your rural hospitals? What does it look like right now in terms of your maternity care deserts and things like that? All of these things are things that we're going to talk about tomorrow. And how do you use a FOIA request to find additional information from your state, from your legislators even? Why are you screaming? You don't know? Girl, I don't know either. So that is what is going to be on tomorrow. What, babe? Do you need help or are you good? Well, bring it out here then. You're what? Okay, girl, we'll finish that first. Okay, great. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, I'm glad. Are you done? Do you need help now? I'm coming. Is Jen, Stacy, DeBoss, Cheryl, is somebody here that can give me a break really quickly so I can go help Mila? And then we're going to dive into the 43 spots left. Great. Great. Oh, look at both of them came up. I'm going to pull both of them up just because I can. All right, let me go help Mila.
Hi, Stacey. Hi. Do you want to take this one?
I want you to do it. I love to listen to you do it.
Oh my gosh, you're funny. All right, well, real quick, you guys, Dani never takes very long. So while she's gone, let's keep our fingers tapping. That's the clapping. It's completely free. So keep the tapping going. Let's see, we're at 158 right now. At least that's what I'm seeing on my screen. Let's see if we can get to like 165 by the time she gets back. The other thing that's free to do is by sharing this live. So if you click that little curved arrow in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, share it to the people that you know. Even share it to some opposition if you want. If you don't have anybody specific to share it to, click the arrow anyway, and then click the copy link icon. That works as well. All of these things help the TikTok algorithm and help share the content, pushes it out to the FYP. Those are all things we want to do. If you haven't remembered to do it yet, please remember to click your daily heart me. That is the orange or reddish heart to the right of Dani's name in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, like to the right of her account. That shows TikTok. It costs 1 TikTok coin to do so. It puts you on her team or in her fan club. I think they're changing the name now. It puts this little heart and little Roman numerals next to your name in the chat, which is really cool. Shows your support. Again, helps the algorithm. Thank you guys. I see you guys are doing that already. Thank you very much for doing that. And don't forget to do that every day that you come in here. If the heart looks gray, that just means maybe you've been out for a while or you haven't remembered to do it recently. Click that gray heart, spend your little 1 TikTok coin, and then kind of reenact your progress on the team. And the more you comment, the more you gift. All of those things add to your team points, so to speak. And it kind of increases your Roman numeral by your name, kind of shows your dedication to the team, which is really cool. Other things you can do to help Dani push her content out is by helping her achieve her gift goal. That's like the little scrolling goal right to the right of her yellow Dani icon. So it's kind of scrolling with the gift goal, and it also scrolls with the subscription goal. So that's one place you can subscribe to our content here on TikTok, where you can get all the cool stickers, but also by subscribing, you get above and beyond content that Dani offers, such as the trainings that she was just talking about, movie nights or movie screenings, book readings, kind of all that extra stuff. And then she's got tiered subscriptions that you can look at through her link tree, through her Discord. There is a free version of her Discord. Don't forget to connect to that. And her link tree is immense and so informational. Don't forget to access that through her account as well.
Okay.
So everybody who's here, let's see, we got past the 165. Thank you guys for doing the tapping work. We really appreciate it. And Dani's got an amazing community. Thank you for all the dedication. And everybody who is a subscriber, please drop the thank you mods. And I'm not talking about me necessarily, but all the people who are here like every day doing the work, kicking out the trolls. We love you guys. We really, really appreciate you.
Yeah, 100%. Appreciate you, Jen. Appreciate you, Stacy.
You're welcome. And I just have one more point of business.
Yes.
If anybody who contributed to Dani's gift, I saw a couple comments in Discord. Please let me know the name as it showed up in either PayPal or Venmo, because if it's different from your screen name, then I don't know to let her know that it's you. So just let me know where exactly you sent it and what that name shows up as in either one of those pay links. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you all. Yeah. So let me just tell you, I am not often at a loss for words, but I was yesterday. We have an incredible subscriber community. And by the way, for those of you all who do not know, just so happens that also on my birthday yesterday, I checked last night. I just happened to go on TikTok and we reached 50,000 followers on TikTok yesterday on my birthday, which was pretty cool. Like I was like, yay, we reached 50,000. Love that for us. So very, very grateful for the folks in this community, the way that we show up for each other. And you guys, so listen, they did do things for my birthday, which was fantastic and amazing. And let me just tell you, when T experienced a bunch of loss because of the hurricane when it came up through Western North Carolina, our community Venmo'd and chipped in, and he was able to get him and his 90-year-old mama some mattresses when Stacy's vehicle blew up on the interstate. People chipped in to help her get funds together to put together to get a down payment for another vehicle. Like these are the things that happen in this community spontaneously. Nobody asks, nobody organizes anything. Nobody, like it's just immediate that people hear that there's a need. Yep, Helena as well, Senior Biz. Like this is what happens. And so I will put my subscribers against anybody who's on TikTok that I have the best subscribers on TikTok. I really do believe that. So thanks, Jen. I appreciate that. So I really do believe that my subscribers show up and show out. There's nothing like a Danikin. So just so you know. All right. So we are a family, Lenny. We do support each other. That is true stuff. 100%. Woo! That's me knocking over my cup. Thank God I almost drank all the water.
What?
Oh, girl, hush. Okay, so let me just tell y'all this. We are about to head into the portion of this live where it's the reason why I put up the trigger warning at the top so that you can see that on the image. The reason that is there is because this Diddy case talks about very sensitive issues. And I want to put up that notification for folks so that if this is a subject matter that you cannot partake in, or if at some point during this you need to leave and come back, that is perfectly understandable. No worries. I want you to know, and I want you to stay in a way that you can be well. Okay. So I want to start not by talking about what's happening in the trial today. We might get there, but what I want to do is level set, because I printed off, y'all know how I am, printer and ink. I printed off the 14-page indictment. Oh, thanks, Renee. Appreciate that. So the same way, remember when we went through all of the Jack Smith indictments on Trump and we read them page by page and all of that, and we kind of went through all the details? I like to do that because even when we're reading the snippets that are coming from court and they are summarizing what's being said, it's not as clear and it's not as concise as what you get from transcripts, from actual physical indictments, and all of those things. So I want you all to just that's where we're going to start. And then places where I do want to go as we discuss this trial and it progresses is I want us to talk about the way that the defense has chosen to victim shame and victim blame. I do want to have conversations about statistics and why people don't report, especially women. I want to talk about the same way you're taken aback that his kids are in the courtroom. I am not Terry Bora. I am not, because the defense is rolling the dice that seeing his children in support of him will help humanize him, will help him seem like a good dad, will help his image some. So that doesn't make me taken aback. I wouldn't expect different, right? To be honest. So, okay, so here we go. This is the United States. It's in the United States District Court, Southern District of New York. The United States of America v. Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, aka PD, aka Love, which that one made me go, eh. The love, comma, gave me the ick really hard. Y'all know what she wants. What you want?
Noodles?
What is it?
Noodles?
You want noodles?
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay. Do you want noodles now or do you want yogurt first?
Want to say yogurt?
Noodles and yogurt?
Yeah.
Okay, well get your yogurt first and a spoon.
No, noodles.
Y'all, as soon as I heard her in the pantry, I knew what she was going for. As soon I heard it. Noodles, yes. And listen, you can't do the off-brands. It's got to be this kind. You ate your last pack 2 nights ago. Girl, I cannot let us run out. I cannot. And I can offer all kinds of things. I really don't want her to eat these today because she's had too many. What I would like is at least can we do some like nuggets and fries or something else, right? Yeah. Oh, it's this kind, Mel Gray. You can't do any other kind, but this kind. The kind that makes your intestines work really hard. Okay, give me a spoon. Give me a spoon. And get up. Hey, listen, you have to eat this one on at the counter, okay? Yeah, you can't eat yogurt at the couch, right? Yeah, see, I'm just saying. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, she is regular, Cheryl. That is true. You just heard her say it. You just heard her say it. So, okay, if you guys can just be patient with me 1 second. I'm going to have to DoorDash her something because I'm not letting her do noodles again today. Here. There you go. Put it up at the counter. You got it? Like, yeah. I can't.
Yes. Yes.
So, you got it? Good girl. Good girl. Okay. Woohoo! She's excited. She does love yogurt. I will tell you that. She does love yogurt. And I love that for her, to be quite frank. It doesn't she's already eating like a college kid. Yes, she is. Despite everything I try, yes, she is. And I do try. But holy geez, she is, it's just funny. No, I don't want to do all that. Can you just do it oh, thank you. Okay, can you do it for me? Oh my Lord. Thank you. Whew. Y'all, the struggle is real. Okay. Hold on. I'll be right back. It's going to give me a code. And now I'm back, TikTok. I'm back. Okay. So, all right. Mila, pick that up, babes. Mila, pick it up. All right. So we're going to get into this indictment. Give me 1 second. I'm going to feed the baby. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to feed the baby. What, baby? I am going to feed you. You hungry?
Oh, boy. How'd that present pizza for you fall down?
Oh, it fell down?
Yeah. How will present pizza fall down?
It did? Okay, girl. I got you. Okay, so don't judge me. I'm going to tell you right now. So I will do regular like chicken ramen, right? Yeah, you get my ice cream. But let me just tell y'all this. So when I was in the military, here's how we ate ramen because we had to make it into a full meal, right? So it was the ramen and then it was cheese and then it was tuna. And make the ramen, then add in that cheese and melt it, put in that the tuna. You got some protein in there. You got pasta. You got some dairy. It was a full meal. And that is how we ate ramen in the military. 100%. So, oh yeah, Carrie, listen. Listen, we listen and don't judge. Listen. Okay, listen, folks. It's a toodle-moodle casserole. We listen and we don't judge. People, what's wrong? Y'all forget the way we do things around here? We listen and we don't judge. Oof. I'm just saying. I need y'all to get with it now so that we remember, okay? Now, I was like, not y'all turning it on me over ramen. Really? That's not what we're doing today. We are not turning on me over ramen. That's not what we're doing. Okay. Sissy, I'm almost done getting food, okay? Almost done. Saving. She said, okay. What do you want me to, what is it? Do y'all hate it when it says make one required selection? I don't. What? Okay, I did that already. Sorry, y'all. It's telling me that I have to edit something, and I'm like, what do I have to edit? Because what in the sweet baby Jesus? Oh, shit. It's because I clicked the wrong thing. Ignore me. Y'all like, Dani, get it together. I agree. I should get it together. I really do. Holy jeez. Sorry. But that was definitely me, wasn't it? Yeah, that was all me. That was all me, y'all. All me. I was like, why is it? Oh, this makes my heart. Did y'all hear the ding? Okay. So give me 1 second because now I'm going to tease. Hey, Alan, that ding was just for you. I'm going to say it again. Hi, Alan. That ding was just for you. And I'm so excited because there's an individual that I get to talk to and get into some good trouble around ballot health. And I'm excited about it. He might be rethinking that damn interview he did. I just want him to know. Yeah, bud. So, yeah. So, okay. All done. Mila, I got you.
Okay.
You okay, baby?
Yeah.
Okay. Go to car. We're all done here. That's done. Boom. Go, Power Rangers. By the way, have you all ever watched Hollywood Demons as I totally digress into somewhere different? If you have not ever watched that show on the TV, watch the Power Ranger ones because it's one episode. It's crazy. I didn't know anything about a Power Ranger curse or any of that. Oh my gosh. Sandy, Alan be everywhere. No, not Alan usually, but usually it's people that he has watch my stuff. And like, that's a fact. That's not me supposing. That's literally a fact that, that he has in the past, paid people to watch my social media. And then they print out the things that I say, and they print out things. If ballot health employees comment on my social media, they print those out, like things like that. It was a real, I generated jobs back home in 2019, in 2020. I was a force to be reckoned with. I got people employed. It's on this show. It is, let me see. It's called Hollywood Demons, and it's documentaries on all these different people in Hollywood and stuff it's absolutely wild. It was wild. It was. I cannot tell a lie. Okay. Mila is, hurry up. You ever be waiting on the page to refresh and you're like, Jesus. Okay, baby. Tutu ordered your food. You're good to go, baby. All right, so here we go. Good morning, KK. You just got here just in time for the ding. You did, Rebecca Littlebird. You did. Good morning. All right, so it was on Prime, Allie G. It was on Prime. Yeah, it was on Prime. All right, so listen, folks. We are at the stage of this conversation where, appreciate you guys. we have covered fanaticism, especially when it comes to Trump and Trumpism. We have covered some more in depth the white South Africans that arrived here yesterday. We have also covered Donald Trump's trip to the Middle East and how there is dissent among many conservatives within his party and within his, kind of entourage, like Laura Loomer, Mark Levin, and Ben Shapiro over this plane, right? This $400 million plane. Also, senators like Paul Rand have spoken out against this thing. We've also talked about Josh Hawley and a couple of others, and them being very outspoken about not cutting Medicaid. And now we are moving into the Diddy situation, and where we are going on that is we are starting out with Phantom went on a cruise on Friday for his birthday. I believe he's still out. So we are starting with the actual indictment. This is why I have a trigger warning on the images here. The jet, right. Mila, not so loud. Are you messing with Titan?
No, I'm playing Titan.
You're playing with Titan?
No, I'm playing Titan.
Okay, because girl, you are cracking up laughing. Okay, so we are getting into the indictment, folks. I am going to have to adjust as I read to be TikTok friendly. I will try to stay as true to the verbiage as possible. Remember, if this in any way, shape, or form becomes triggering for you and you need to leave and come back, or you need to be like, Dani, I'll catch you later, perfectly understandable. Just want everybody to realize that that's what we're going to be talking about, okay? So again, United States of America versus Sean Combs, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. PD, a.k.a., and this is the creepy one, Love, comma. So apparently that's what he refers to himself as in some of this evidence that they have. So here's what it says. Count one is racketeering conspiracy. Oh, I love that, Mary Shaw. Phantom is a Taurus too. Yes, Rebecca Little he is. Okay, so the grand jury charges. Count one is racketeering conspiracy. Overview. One, for decades, Sean Combs, aka all the AKAs I just gave you, the defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his intimate desires. Y'all know I'm using that word versus the S word, right? His intimate desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influences of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. 2, Sean Combs, aka all the things again, the defendant operated his business headquartered at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global, collectively the Combs Business. Corporate entities in the Combs Business included, among other things, record labels, a recording studio, an apparel line, an alcohol spirits business, a marketing agency, and a television network and media company. 3, at all times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs, all the AKAs, the defendant, engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and intimate. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of intimate activity with male commercial intimate workers. At times, Combs and others acting at his direction made arrangements for women and commercial intimate workers to fly to Combs's location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing pharmaceuticals to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same, and using intimidation and violence. 4. Physical abuse by Sean Combs, the defendant, was recurrent and widely known. On numerous occasions from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years, Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them. These assaults were at times witnessed by others and included one instance at a Los Angeles hotel in or about March 2016, which was captured on video and later publicly reported, where Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave. When a member of the hotel security staff intervened, which, by the way, this was also a Los Angeles police officer, right? So this was a police officer who was also working at the hotel as a security guard. When a member of the hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. Now, it came out in court yesterday that this individual was given a brown paper bag with $100,000 in cash in it. He claimed in his testimony that it was not a bribe and that it was repayment for damage to the hotel. The problem with that argument is, does Sean Combs always pay for damage to hotels or properties with brown paper bags full of cash? Or does he normally pay that money directly to the hotel and not a security guard employee, right? Next, Combs's violence was also not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. Point 5, Sean Combs, all the AKAs, the defendant, used the Combs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse and commercial intimacy. Every time I use the I word, it's the SEX word, okay? Those employees, good morning, Ali G, those employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors and other close associates, acted as Combs intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Combs's control of the Combs business. That's where you get the racketeering part. The Combs enterprise, from at least in or about 2008 through on or about the date of the filing of this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, and others known and unknown were members and associates of a criminal organization, the Combs Enterprise, or the Enterprise. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, intimacy trafficking, y'all know what I mean, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of selling intimacy, coercion, and enticement to engage in paid for intimacy, pharmaceutical offenses, kidnapping, arson, robbery, and obstruction of justice. 7, the Combs Enterprise, including its leadership, its members, and its associates, constituted an enterprise as defined by Title 18, United States Code Section 1961-4. That is, a group of individuals associated in fact, although not a legal entity. Mila, not so loud, love. The Combs Enterprise consisted of Sean Combs, the defendant, entities within the Combs business, including but not limited to Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global, individuals employed by and associated with the Combs business, and others known and unknown. The Combs Enterprise constituted an ongoing organization whose members functioned as a continuing unit for a common purpose. What? Oh, Titan, so you won? Could we not unfold the clothes that Tutu folded earlier today, babe? Yeah. Appreciate it. Help you what? Well, just leave it alone and I'll refold it when I'm done. Okay. Sorry guys. Yeah, definitely. And so for those of you guys that are commenting on Facebook and you said this is beyond bullying. So this is something that his defense attorney laid out in her opening statement yesterday. She claimed that yes, Sean Combs is angry. Yes, he's violent, but that it only constitutes domestic violence, that it does not constitute trafficking or racketeering. Like, this is her claim. In her opening statement yesterday, she literally blamed the victims and said that these were strong, capable women who chose to be with him every single day because they were getting something in return. That's what she said. Yeah, Terry Bora, when you say imagine being the defense attorney, fuck her. I don't like her. Yes, baby.
That cannot be me.
He didn't?
Yeah.
He didn't see you? Okay. Well, don't scare him, okay?
He did see me.
He did see you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, don't scare him, okay?
Okay.
The Combs Enterprise constituted an ongoing organization whose members functioned as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the objectives of the Combs Enterprise. The Combs Enterprise was engaged in and its activities affected interstate and foreign commerce. The Combs Enterprise operated in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere. Yeah, I could not be his attorney. Even if I believe that everybody deserves a defense, I could not be his attorney. I could not. And as a woman, the things that she said yesterday made me want to punch her in the face. I would not punch her in the face. I do not condone violence, but it did strike that urge within me. Okay? I'm just saying. 9. At all times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, was the leader of the Combs Enterprise. 10. Sean Combs, the defendant, and others known and unknown, participated in unlawful and other activities related to the conduct of the Combs Enterprise's affairs. These individuals included certain Combs business employees, such as members of Combs security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors, as well as other close associates of Combs. Purposes of the Combs Enterprise. Yeah, 100%, Righteous Giggles, 100%. Linda said, yeah, it makes her twitch a little too. Purposes of the Combs Enterprise. Point 11. The purpose of the Combs Enterprise included the following: operating a global business in the media, entertainment, and lifestyle industries, including, among other things, record labels, a recording studio, an apparel line, an alcoholic spirits business, a marketing agency, a television network, and media company. B, preserving, protecting, promoting, and enhancing the power, reputation, and brand of Sean Combs. Of the brand of Sean Combs, the defendant, as a musician, entrepreneur, and a figure in the entertainment industry. C, enriching members and associates of the enterprise, including its leader, Combs, and in particular, those who demonstrated loyalty to Combs and willingness to conceal his crimes. Sorry, you guys, but I cannot help but draw parallels to him and someone else we know who absolutely places loyalty above everything else, and people who are willing to cover up for the things that he does. I can't help but draw this parallel. Point D. Right, Mr. Barrios. Preserving, protecting, promoting, and enhancing the power of the Combs Enterprise, including the power of its leader, Combs, through violence, use of pew-pews, threats of violence, coercion, and verbal, emotional, physical, and intimate abuse. C, Fulfilling the personal desires of Combs, particularly those related to Combs's intimate gratification, including through the exploitation of women and the use of commercial intimacy workers. F, enabling Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise to engage in unlawful acts of violence, including intimate violence, intimacy trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of commercial intimacy, coercion and enticement to engage in commercial intimacy, pharmaceutical distribution, and other crimes, and concealing the commission of such acts. No, Tanya, we shouldn't. G, securing absolute loyalty from members of the Combs enterprise, including through acts of violence and threats. H, as in Henry, protecting the Combs enterprise and its members and associates, including Combs, from detection and prosecution by law enforcement authorities through acts of intimidation. Mila, not so loud. Acts of intimidation, manipulation, bribery, and threats of retaliation against individuals who witnessed the crimes committed by members and associates of the enterprise. She's playing with Titan. Sissy, not so loud. Can you meow just a little quieter? So, Linda, I will say this. So Linda Sims over on Facebook says, seeing what having too much freaking money does. What in the absolute hell? Oh, that was Titan?
Yeah, Henry Titan.
Okay, well, he scared himself he's gone. Okay, so listen, it is not what having too much money does. It is what the wrong person having too much money does. I want us to remember that money is not the root of all evil. It is the love of money. It is, so all money. Yes, your food is almost here. Let me just say this. Listen, all money does is amplify the kind of person you have always been. That is all money does. Right, Rebel, we said the same thing at the same time. That is all money does. If you have always been a good person, if you have always been giving, if you have always been healing, if you have always been kind, money just gives you the opportunity to do that more so, right? Money is just a tool. Money is the same as any other tool that you could have, right? So whether it's your job, whether it's the internet, whether it's money, you can love all those things. Me personally, I think one of the reasons that people like for the Bible to say the love of money is the root of all evil is so that other people will be willing to remain poor while other people get rich. I really do. I look at organized religion as a mechanism to control people. And if I am somebody that wants to stay in power and I want to be rich, like King Richard and all the people, right? Then I might put in that book that the love of money is the root of all evil, right? Because I want everybody else to stay poor while I get rich. So I'm just saying, hey, Chef Ryan. So I'm just saying, right. And you'll get your riches in heaven, 100%. Mila Ann. So, we're not going to go down that road too much today, but I'm just saying. All right. So, the other things that it did. Okay. So listen at this. This is the part where it gets rough. All right. So Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs's role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs's orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended intimate acts with male commercial intimacy workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, quote unquote, freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced intimacy performances that Combs arranged, directed, self-gratified during, and often electronically recorded. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of the Combs enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial intimacy workers across state lines and internationally. Good God. Do you want attention? Come on up here, Mr. H. Come on. Come to the panel. I'm going to give you this opportunity. Because I am certain that, a strong, well-informed, opinionated man such as yourself will have no problem getting on the panel and having a conversation with little old me. I am sure that you have the ability and have no problem hitting that request button and joining the panel. Where'd you go, Mr. H? Surely you know how to work TikTok, right? Right. He wasn't complimenting me. What's up, boss? Bless it. Right. Time is up. Let me tell you what, these people should really love me, because the way they be running from me, they should be in tip-top shape. Great cardiac rhythm, should be in perfect tip-top shape, the way they be running. Fuck if I know, girl, bye. I don't know. So anyway, okay, here we go. Appreciate you guys. So here comes the rest of the parts, just so everybody knows. Yeah, I'm still not putting up with any of it today, if you can't tell, right? Okay, so here we go. Oh, let's see who this is. Okay, it's still not Mr. H. No, apparently not, Linda. Okay, so here we go. Wow. Freak-offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days. Thank you. And often involved multiple commercial intimacy workers. I just did, Edith. Give me 1 second to get this child her food. So give me 1 second. Let me get her squared away. Stacey D's coming up real quick. Come on, baby.
What's up, peeps?
Come on, sweet girl.
How are we, Danikins, family, and trolls? For all the trolls in the room, let me just reiterate while I have a moment. Be respectful, no slurs, no spamming, and no all caps. All caps is for mods only, mod adjacent, and those who have special permission because they are sight impaired. It is the way for Dani to be able to communicate with her mods in the event they need to say something to her directly, and it just helps it to stand out. Hi, guys. Thanks for the gifts. I have a question. Has anybody ever seen in their box that they have a number of gifts and then they go away after some period of time? Because I had a bunch of gifts yesterday, and today it's not there. And when I click on it, like click on the gift thing, it doesn't say that.
You unlock different amounts of gifts at different times,
depending
upon what TikTok is doing, I think.
Okay. It's fine. I just re-gift them. And that wasn't a call. Thank you for the gifts, guys, but that wasn't a call to that wasn't me begging for gifts.
Oh wait,
I was
you
just
mean
curious.
gifts
I'm like, am I
given to
doing
you?
something wrong?
Do you mean gifts given to you?
Huh?
Do you mean gifts given to you or gifts available to you?
Gifts given to me that show up in my little box, and then I'll go and click the gift icon so I can like convert them. Yes, you need to go into assist weekly cash it out if you can. Okay, all right.
Yeah, weekly cash it out because they pay out on Wednesdays.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, more gifts it is. Mandarific said, "Love that for you." What, baby? You good?
Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Mila.
This girl is something. Oh. I'm telling you, I can't with her.
While I have you up here, what's going on with the Head Start?
So, we were supposed to go today. It is pouring down raining though.
Yeah,
and
here too.
Mom was supposed to be off this afternoon and she is not. So normally Mom only has to work. On Mondays and Tuesdays, she only has to work one job.
Mm-hmm.
This week, she only had one day that she got to work one job.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Mom has to be the one to take her.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I got to figure out if we can finagle it another day or it might have to wait until next Monday.
Right. But it is official and it is.
It's a thing. All we have to do is go. Mom has to go fill out the paperwork and bring them the documents that they ask for, which she has. And then we should be good to go. And our girl can go to Head Start.
We all collectively love that so much for both of you.
I do too.
She's going to get the socialization with children that are not her siblings, that won't take her stuff, that give her a little bit of pushback, but also just enable her to make those relationships, learn how to do that with people who aren't obligated.
Yes, and God love their hearts too, because who we.
That's going to be fantastic.
So listen, and she's so excited. She literally said, Tutu, I go to school and make friends. I said, yes, you're going to go to school and make friends. Yes. She's super excited. And it's just 8 a.m. to like 1. So it's perfect. It gives me the opportunity to work in the morning, get all my stuff done, then get her. And you know what I mean? It's just, it's perfect.
It's a good way to slow walk it, like not too much at once for her so she doesn't get overwhelmed.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
She'd be standing at the door screaming, Tutu!
Right. Mila, are you excited? What are you going to do when you go to school? Well, say it louder.
I can't hear you.
She said, she got a mouthful of chicken. She said, I make friends at school.
You do it, girl.
With a cheek full of chicken nuggets. Are you excited, girl? She said, Tutu, am I going to ride the bus? I said, girl, I don't know about that, but you're definitely going to go. I don't know if they got a bus, but we'll make sure you get there, baby.
Yeah, she is going to be running the place in a week. All right, I will drop down and let you get back to work. Love y'all.
Love you too. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Yeah, she will have a little backpack and all the things. 100%. Yeah, she's ready. All right. You what? Oh, she wants a Sonic book bag for school. Okay, I got you. You want Sonic? Okay. You want Sonic, not Knuckles? No, Sonic. Okay, girl. That's what she said. I know, Cheryl. We've had that chat. We'll see. Oh, yeah, she loves Sonic and all the things. So, yeah, she's about that life. All right. So deep breath as we get into this part of the indictment, folks. So, wow. Okay. So in arranging these freak offs, right? Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of the Combs enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial intimacy workers across state lines and internationally. Freak-offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial intimacy workers. During freak-offs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. Sometimes, unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in intimacy acts with commercial intimacy workers. After freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and pharmaceutical use. What? Members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, security, staff, household staff, personal assistants, and other Combs business employees, facilitated the freak-offs by, among other things, booking hotel rooms for the freak-offs, stocking the hotel rooms in advance with the required freak-off supplies, including controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, and lighting, cleaning the hotel rooms after the freak-offs to try to mitigate room damage, arranging for travel for victims, commercial intimacy workers, and Combs to and from freak-offs, resupplying Combs with requested supplies, delivering large sums of cash to Combs to pay the commercial intimacy workers, and scheduling the delivery of IV fluids. In or about March of 2024, during searches of Combs' residences in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including specific pharmaceuticals, the kind that doctors normally prescribe if you have pain, and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Combs subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause the victims to engage in freak-offs. Combs maintained control over his victims through, among other things, physical violence, promises of career opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support, and by other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victim's appearance, monitoring their medical records, controlling their housing, and supplying them with controlled substances. Yes, baby. What time is it? It's 12:55. Are you on time or are you running late? Mila, are you on time?
Yeah.
Okay.
On time.
You're on time? Okay, girl, just checking. You hear it storming? Yeah. Y'all know she asks every day. And she asks me multiple times a day, Tutu, what time is it? And then I'll tell her and she'll go, okay. Like she's got somewhere to be.
No.
Yeah, you heard the thunder? Yeah. Y'all saw me look outside? I can promise y'all right now, if my mama was here. If my mama was here, she'd be done turned off the TV, the phone, the computer, the lights. She would have got out the candles already, everything. Yeah, honey pot. She does it when I'm not on here. Yes, she does it when I'm not on here too. Okay, so wow. Combs subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause the victims to engage in freak-offs. He maintained control over his victims through, among other things, physical violence, promises of career opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support, and by other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victims' appearances, monitoring their medical records, controlling their housing, and supplying them with controlled substances. During and separate from freak-offs, Combs, among other things, hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims at times by their hair. Yeah, baby. I just told you. It's 12:57, girl. Okay. These assaults often resulted in injuries that took days or weeks to heal. Combs also threatened victims' careers and livelihoods, including if they resisted participating in freak-offs. This goes all the way back to 2009, Brandy. Yeah, no, it doesn't look good for him. I'm telling y'all right now, in my opinion, I could not be on this jury. You want to know why? Because I, in my heart and soul, believe this man is guilty. I believe he did it. I believe he is guilty all damn day long. They would have never picked my ass for the jury. They'd have said, girl, no, you have to stay home. They'd have been, you know, the challenges that they get, the ones that are automatic dismissal. They'd have said, are you able to? No, he's guilty as hell. Hang him up. They'd have been like, get her out right now. Right. So, all right. So here we go. Victims believed they could not refuse Combs's demands without risking their financial or job security or without repercussions in the form of physical or emotional abuse. Combs also used the sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating recordings that he made during freak-offs as collateral to ensure the continued obedience and silence of the victims. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including Combs' security personnel, at times carried pew-pews. We got an hour before they get here still, Beach Bum wannabe. On more than one occasion, Combs himself carried or brandished pew-pews to intimidate and threaten others, including victims of and witnesses to his abuse. In or about March of 2024, during searches of Combs' residences in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, law enforcement seized pew-pews and the stuff that goes in pew-pews. Yes, baby. You okay? You okay? Okay.
I want you to talk with me up in here.
You do? Okay. Well, as soon as I'm finished with here, we're going to do just that, okay?
Okay. My phone died.
Okay, well, plug it up, baby. It's right there for you. Did y'all hear what she said? She said, I want you to come on the couch with me and play games.
And my phone died.
Yes, and your phone died. Yes, girl. Plug it back up, and I'm going to come play with you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so during the March 2024 search of his Los Angeles, California, and Miami, Florida residences, law enforcement seized pew-pews and ammo, including 3 AR, y'all know what they are, with this shit, with defaced serial numbers, as well as a drum magazine. What? 3 ARs with defaced serial numbers and a drum magazine. What the fuck does Diddy need with that? What do you need with that? What's a drum magazine? It's a round drum that holds like a ton of ammo. It's huge. This joker. Right, a lot of it. All right. Hold on. Agreed. No one needs that. Right, Stacy, Diddy Capone. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise enabled Combs's control over victims by following his directions regarding financial payments to victims, advancing or suppressing the victim's career opportunities, and acquiring the controlled substances Combs used to keep the victims compliant. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise at times witnessed Combs's violence toward the victims or the victims' injuries caused by Combs without intervening. Instead, members and associates of the Combs enterprise helped conceal the violence and abuse by, among other things, assisting Combs in monitoring and preventing victims from leaving locations such as hotels or Combs's residences. These occasions included instances in which a victim was required to remain in hiding, sometimes for several days at a time, to recover from injuries Combs inflicted without being publicly observed. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise also assisted Combs in locating and contacting victims who attempted to flee his abuse. When employees, witnesses to his abuse, or others threatened, that was not this indictment. That was a different one, Katzmandu. When employees, witnesses to his abuse, or others threatened Combs's authority or reputation, Combs and members and associates of the enterprise engaged in acts of violence, threats of financial and reputational harm, and verbal abuse. These acts of violence included kidnapping and arson. In addition, on multiple occasions, Combs threw both objects and people, as well as hit, dragged, choked, and shoved others. When Combs's authority or reputation was threatened by the possibility of negative publicity, yeah, he put somebody's car on fire, Zoe, negative publicity or legal or law enforcement actions against him, including in or about late 2023, following the public allegations of Combs's crimes, Combs and members and associates of the enterprise pressured witnesses and victims, including through attempted bribery, to stay silent and not report what they had experienced or knew to law enforcement. On phone calls, I don't know why these dumbass people talk on the phone. Like, come on, you're supposed to know better than to talk on the damn phone. Sorry, y'all. I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. We talking on the phone? Use Signal Chat. All right, here we go. On phone calls, Combs and other members and associates of the enterprise, among other things, provided these victims and witnesses with a false narrative of events in an effort to conceal Combs's crimes. Combs caused these calls to be recorded on at least 2 occasions. Dumbass. The racketeering conspiracy. From at least in or about 2008 through on or about the date of the filing of this indictment, in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Sean Combs, the defendant, and others known and unknown, being persons employed by and associated with the Combs enterprise described in paragraphs 6 through 12 of this indictment, an enterprise engaged in and the activities of which affected interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly combined, conspired, confederated, and agreed together and with each other to violate the racketeering laws of the United States, to wit, Title 18, United States Code, Section 1962C, that is, to conduct and participate directly and indirectly in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity, as that term is defined in Title 18, United States Code, Sections 1961(1) and 1961(5), consisting of A, multiple acts involving kidnapping, chargeable under the following provisions of state law: California Penal Code 207, California Penal Code 21A 664, California Penal Code 31, and California Penal Code 182. Those are kidnapping, attempt, aiding and abetting, and conspiracy. Multiple acts involving arson, multiple acts of arson, chargeable under the following provisions of state law: California Penal Code 451, arson; California Penal Code 21A 664, attempt; California Penal Code 31, aiding and abetting; California Penal Code 182, conspiracy. Multiple acts including bribery, chargeable under the following provisions of state law: California Penal Code 137A, bribery of a witness; California Penal Code 21A 664, attempt; California Penal Code 31, aiding and abetting; California Penal Code 182, conspiracy. Multiple acts indictable under Title 18, United States Code, Section 1512, relating to tampering with a witness, victim, or an informant. E, multiple acts indictable under Title 18, United States Code, Sections 1589 and 2, which is related to forced labor. F, multiple acts indictable under Title 18, United States Code, Sections 1591 and 2, related to intimacy trafficking. And then G is multiple acts indictable under Title 18, United States Code, Sections 2421, 2422, and 2, relating to transportation and inducement to travel for purposes of commercial intimacy and other illegal intimate activities. And H, multiple offenses involving the possession with intent to distribute or the distribution of pain substances and controlled substances, including, oh Lord, I can't say none of these names, including white powder, including oxy, including it's a lot. I can't say all these because the stuff that Elon supposedly likes, y'all know that stuff? Yep, K, starts with a K. And then the other stuff, yeah, it's a lot, y'all. And then the one that starts with an M, that you think of Appalachia when you hear it, a lot of them. And then, yeah, anyway, it's a lot of those. No, because Linda, that'll kill you. Unalive you. Jesus, that'll unalive you. That's not, yep, that one. Okay. Yep. Okay. Method. You got it. All right. So I can't even I looked at this list. I said, ain't none of this shit I can say on TikTok. Y'all get it though. It's a lot of those things. It's a lot of them. So it's indictment. It's a violation of Title 21, United States Code, Sections 841A, 1, B, 1, C, B1, E, B2, and 846, which is the distribution and possession with intent to distribute and conspiracy to do the same. And Title 18, United States Code, Section 2, aiding, abetting, and willfully causing. It was a part of the conspiracy that Sean Combs, the defendant, agreed that a conspirator would commit at least 2 acts of racketeering activity in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise. Notice of special sentencing factor. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, right? From at least in or about 2009 up to and including in or about 2018 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, as part of his agreement to conduct and participate in the conduct and the affairs of Combs Enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity, Sean Combs, the defendant, agreed to, in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly recruit, entice, harbor, transport, provide, obtain, advertise, maintain, patronize, and solicit by any means a person knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion, as described in Title 18, United States Code, Section 1591E2, and any combination of such means would be used to cause the person to engage in a commercial intimacy act in violation of Title 18 United States Code, Section 1591A1 and B1. So listen, when they talk about notice of special sentencing factor, they are saying this is some extra shit that means when you go to sentence him, it should be higher and above what you would normally do in these circumstances, because this is like an aggravating factor or special sentencing factor. Okay. Count 2. All of that was count 1. Count 2, and we only have 3 pages. Count 2, which is intimacy trafficking. And when I say intimacy trafficking, I mean commercial intimacy trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, victim 1. The grand jury further charges from at least in or about 2009 up to and including in or about 2018 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Sean Combs, the defendant, in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, provided, obtained, advertised, maintained, patronized, and solicited by any means a person knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion, as described in Title 18 United States Code, Section 1591E2, and any combination of such means would be used to cause the person to engage in a commercial intimacy act, and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused the same, to wit, Combs recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, and maintained a person, victim 1, and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused victim 1 to engage in commercial intimacy acts, knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that victim 1 was engaging in commercial acts as a result of force, fraud, and coercion. That's Title 18, United States Code Sections 1591A, 1, B1, 1594A, and 2. Count 3. Transportation to engage in paid intimacy. The grand jury further charges from at least in or about 2009 up into and including in or about 2024 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, the defendant knowingly transported an individual in interstate and foreign commerce with intent that the individual engage in paid intimacy and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused the same, to wit, commercial Combs transported, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused the transportation of female victims, plural, and commercial intimacy workers, plural, in interstate and foreign commerce on multiple occasions with the intent that they engage in paid intimacy. Let me also say this. As soon as I hear this, I think of Matt Gaetz and the 17-year-old girl. I just do. It's not on the same scale by any means whatsoever. That girl was a minor, though. And the fact that politics covered that shit up makes me angry, because it should not ever be able to do so. Ever. Forfeiture allegations. As a result of committing the offense alleged in count 1 of this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, shall forfeit to the United States, pursuant to Title 18 United States Code Section 1963, any and all interests the defendant acquired or maintained in violation of Title 18 United States Code Section 1962, any and all interest in, securities of, claims against, and property or contractual rights of any kind affording a source of influence over the enterprise named and described herein, which the defendant established, operated, controlled, conducted, and participated in the conduct of, in violation of Title 18 United States Code 1962, and any and all property constituting and derived from proceeds obtained directly and indirectly said offense, including but not limited to a sum of money in United States currency representing the amount of proceeds traceable to the commission of said offense. They taken properties and cash. 19. As a result of committing the offense alleged in count 2 of this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, shall forfeit to the United States, pursuant to Title 18 United States Code Section 1594, any and all property, real and personal, involved in, used, or intended to be used to commit or to facilitate the commission of said offense, and any and all property traceable to such property, any and all property, real and personal, constituting or derived from proceeds obtained directly or indirectly as a result of said offense, including but not limited to a sum of money in United States currency representing the amount of property involved in said offense and proceeds traceable to the commission of said offense. Listen, here's my thing. I am fine in these situations where the government seizes these things. And I believe that the government should then sell like the homes and the property. And I believe that those... What, baby? You did what on the bed? Yeah. Well, hold on 1 second, because I'm almost done. Okay? Yeah. But I believe that the money... What, baby? What? Well, it's not his property, Katzmandu, so he can't give it over.
Come on.
You have to wait.
Okay.
You want to sit? Okay, I'm almost done, okay? You're doing great. So let me just say this, but I believe that once the United States government takes this stuff and gets this money and all that stuff, I believe that some sort of restitution or compensation should be made to these victims. I don't believe the government should profit off their pain. Yeah. I don't believe that the government should get to just profit financially off of these people's pain. I believe that these victims are enduring a tremendous amount of victim shaming and victim blaming just to participate in this trial. And I believe that they should get some of that. And then you have to wait 1 minute, okay? And then I believe that they should use this money specifically. This is the Southern District of New York. It's federal court, Winn-Dixie. And then I believe that these funds should specifically go towards organizations and efforts for those people that have endured this type of thing, or those organizations that are helping people who were previously trafficked, who were previously forced into paid intimacy, right? I don't think that the United States government should just get to pocket all the property, all the money, and that it be used for whatever the fuck they want to, right? We see this happen a lot in different scenarios. It's one of my big issues with, so like, to me, they should be doing this same type of prosecution for pharmaceutical companies, right? Who intentionally help doctors get people hooked on certain types of medications, right? What I'm tired of seeing is corporations getting to pay a huge fine, millions of dollars or billions of dollars, which is still a drop in the bucket compared to what they've made, while taking advantage of people, and then the CEOs of those organizations not being prosecuted. I believe that those CEOs that are committing Medicare, Medicaid, TRICARE fraud, I believe those CEOs that are overprescribing, underprescribing, they are giving incentives to physicians. Purdue, exactly, Lenny, all of those fuckers should be in the jail. All of them. I keep saying this. I want the criminals in corner offices put in prison the same way the criminals on the corner boys are put in prison. The same way you want to lock up corner boys, lock up corner office criminals. Lock up those those people. So just saying, that gets me a little irritated. But let me finish because we're almost done. Yeah, I know he did. I know he just stepped down, which, by the way, I had pulled up some other things to tell you guys as well. Nissan is laying off 20,000 people between now and 2028, I believe. They are going from 17 facilities down to 10. Some of those include those in Japan, but Nissan is in very big trouble, and so they are going to be making huge cuts. They came out with that, I believe, yesterday. So let me go ahead and give you this. As a result of committing the offense alleged in count 3 of this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, shall forfeit to the United States pursuant to Title 18 United States Code Section 2428, any and all property, real and personal, constituting or derived from proceeds obtained directly or indirectly as a result of said offense, and any and all property, real or personal, that was used or intended to be used to commit or facilitate the commission of said offense, and Title 18 USC Section 981 A1C and Title 28 USC Section 2461, any and all real property, and real and personal, that constitutes or is derived from proceeds traceable to the commission of said offense, including but not limited to a sum of money in United States currency representing the amount of proceeds traceable to the commission of said offense. Listen to this. The substitute assets provision. If any of the above described forfeitable property as a result of any act or omission of the defendant, A, cannot be located upon the exercise of due diligence, B, has been transferred or sold to or deposited with a third person, C, has been placed beyond the jurisdiction of the court, D, has been substantially diminished in value, or E, has been commingled with other property which cannot be subdivided without difficulty, it is the intent of the United States, pursuant to Title 18 United States Code, Section 1963M, Title 21 United States Code, Section 853P, and Title 28 USC, Section 2461C, to seek forfeiture of any other property of the defendant up to the value of the above forfeitable property. So they said, fuck around and find out if you try to move your assets, hide your property, put it in somebody else's name, mix it with something else, right? They said, listen, we will take whatever else has an equal value to what is due us. So that is the full 14-page indictment. Things that I am curious about. So you would have to, yeah, Zoe, they usually are. And remember that one of the people that is on the prosecuting team is the person who secured the conviction of Ghislaine Maxwell. So that's Jeffrey Epstein's right-hand woman, right? So just remember that, that's who this person is. I also think that, let me pull this up really quickly for you. Maybe. Where'd it go? There it is. You okay, Mama? Yeah. Okay. Just checking with you. Okay. Fuck him. Sorry, I'm reading. I shouldn't read, but okay, let me get rid of these things. And let me get to what I want. Okay, so here we go. Wow. So just before the break for lunch, yes, one of his lawyers is also Luigi Mangione's lawyers. One of them is. I don't know, Elaine. I believe that they should, but I don't know that to be the case. Some of them have sued him personally under a civil thing. The question is, how does that work if the government takes property, right? So one of the things that I don't like here so Cassie testified that the longest freak off she was involved in lasted 4 days. 4 days. She said they became a job. Holy shit. He paid her rents at apartments close to his residences. And of course made a lot of unannounced visits, right? He always rented her properties that were close to where he lived so that he could just drive a golf court and get there, right? And do all of those things. So I'm just not doing fuckery today. Oh, he's not even in here anymore, Pie Slice. That was the block button so quick he can't even catch his breath. So fuck him. Just saying, that was just, no, I'm done.
You done?
What?
You done?
Almost, yeah. So anyway, we'll dig in more to kind of the additional things that they have in the testimony. I am wondering how much of the staff, because here's the thing. If they're opening with Cassie, right? It makes you wonder what else they have to have. Because Cassie is the most public piece of this entire thing. We've seen the video that took place in the hotel, right? If they are starting off with her, and they started off with the cop yesterday who claimed that that $100,000 in a brown paper bag wasn't a payoff, because yeah, we're supposed to be idiots. It just makes you, exactly, Linda Sims, it makes you wonder what else they have that is coming. Absolutely not. Pick those up. Yeah. Tutu did not fold up the laundry for you to twirl it all around and put it in the floor. No, ma'am. You're not making more work for me. Just saying. That's not what we're doing today. So I think that some of the rhetoric that you will hear from no, Sharon, she does this like she's being good, right? Because we run long today. We started earlier than usual. She's doing fantastic. And that's why we're wrapping up. But let me just say this. I think that one of the things that is evident that people, I would be watching for all of the women in your life, for all of the men in your life, for women, for all of the men in your life, I would be watching how they comment about this. A little sip. That's it. I would be watching how they comment about this and what they say about women in these types of situations. And for any man who participates in victim blaming, victim shaming, any of those things, that's a man to be on the lookout for. That is a person to never put yourself in a vulnerable position with. That is someone that you want to know about, right? Because this is a big sign, right? And I'm just going to say this for people who say, oh, well, they wanted fame, but they did not ask to be controlled. They did not ask to be trafficked. They did not ask to be abused and kicked and punched. And what I would say to any weak ass man that says such a thing, right? I would say, why don't we do this? Why don't you let me kick you, punch you, beat you, slap you, control you, right? And I'm going to do that for like 6 months straight. And I'm going to hire people. And those people are going to walk you around. Those people are going to make sure that you do this and do that and all that, right? And then I want you to tell me how easy it is to leave. Because that is the thing that people do not consider is it is not that easy to just say, I am leaving. When the person has taken over your life and they have the means and the ability, it's not that easy. Where can you go that person cannot find you? Where can you go? Right? Yeah, the power dynamic. And there are so many women that deal with this when they are poor. Exactly. It is not easy to leave. And I think that people need to really sit back and stop this victim blaming bullshit. Let me tell you something, okay? Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Let me tell you this, okay? There can be the most gorgeous man on the planet in front of me, inebriated and not functioning and all of that. And I can tell you, out of all the things that I would do, what I would not do is assault him intimately, right? So it says something about you because all people put themselves in vulnerable positions at some point or another in their life. Everyone has done something, whether you got into a car that you shouldn't have got in, whether you went to a party that you shouldn't be at, whether you went on a date with someone, whether you had one drink too many, whether you walked home after hours somewhere. Everyone has done something at some point in their life where you are vulnerable. That does not mean you deserve to be a victim, because human beings should have enough self-control and enough integrity to be someone that doesn't take advantage of vulnerability. It is not the girl that is so drunk that she's stumbling to the bathroom that I judge. It's the guy that buys her another fucking drink. He's the problem. You follow me? Because there's not a person that I know that can say you've never gone a little too far with something. Right. And the bartender who keeps serving her. I'm never going to judge the girl for the skirt that she's wearing. I'm going to judge the guy who grabs her fucking thigh. Understand that. So for anybody that wants to be involved in victim shaming and victim blaming, you might not want to go down that road with me, because I don't tolerate it at all. I do not tolerate it in any way, shape, or form. Not for men either. Because let me tell you something, there are men who are abused. There are men who are abused 100%, right? Not the same number as women, right? And those men deserve to be heard. Those men deserve to be protected. Those men deserve all of that, right? So I'm just going to be clear. We don't do that in any way, shape, or form when it comes to victims, regardless of gender or not. Yes, there are men who were allegedly abused by Diddy as well. 100%. 100%. Can somebody put that number back in the chat? Because there was a number about, there's a lot of organizations out there. Somebody put up the SAFE number. Can somebody put it back up for me? Yeah, thank you, Smile City. So domestic violence hotline, 1-800-799-SAFE, 1-800-799-SAFE. S is in Sam, A is in Apple, F is in Frank, E is in Echo. Listen, if you need to get out of a situation and you don't know what to do, call that number, 1-800-799-SAFE. Okay? How many of you guys have seen the the distress sign, right? You put it behind your back and it's like this. Y'all know the sign I'm talking about? Pay attention. If you're walking down the street and somebody pulls your shirt, if somebody does something and you look and you see a woman or a person and their hand is behind their back and they've got that thumb and they're doing this sign right here, that means that they need to be rescued from the person that they are with. Okay? You didn't know that? So let me see if I can show you. Okay, so yeah, so let me show you. So if you type in and you look up if you look up distress hand signal, so you do your hand like this, your thumb goes in and you close it over your thumb like this. Just like this. So if someone has you and you can't get away and you need to get away, when you walk past somebody on the street and you can pull their shirt and get their attention and put your arm behind your back and do that signal, that is letting someone know that you are in distress and you need to be helped. Thank you, Jen, for putting that over there in Facebook. Yeah, it is the distressed hand signal. Everyone should know it. So for all of you, what I highly recommend is when you go out, if you're going to a pub, if you're going to like a lounge or a bar or whatever, ladies, I recommend as soon as you get there, right, just excuse yourself to go to the restroom, because a lot of places, even Amelie's in Charlotte, if you guys are familiar with Amelie's in Charlotte, North Carolina, they have this. Whenever you go out on a date, I highly recommend that you go to the bathroom. A lot of businesses today, they have something on their bathroom door and it will say, if you feel uncomfortable, order this. If you need to be snuck out the back, order that. If you need us to call police, order this. If you need to do this, order that, right? Many, many, many businesses today have this in their restrooms on the bathroom doors, right? So it's a great thing to do. If you guys, yeah, I'm just saying, Code words are great with family members, but sometimes you can't get to a phone. And when you're out somewhere, if you don't feel comfortable, you can absolutely do that. So when you first get to a place, especially if you're with somebody that you don't know, say, hey, I'm going to go to the bathroom and wash my hands real quick. And then you check the inside door of the stall and it will tell you what to order. Take a quick snapshot of it with your phone if you need to, right? Yep, this is the distressed hand signal. Okay? And let me just say something. When someone tells you something has happened to them, when we say believe people, we are not saying believe people in order to condemn and judge other people, because that's for a court of law to do. But what we are doing is, what we are saying is believe people so that they can get what they need. Yeah. So listen, some restaurants have it, bars have it, lounges have it, different places. Some coffee shops have it. Like a lot of places have these types of things. Like I said, even Amelie's, if you've never been to Amelie's in Charlotte, North Carolina, it's a French bakery, right? But when you go in there and you go to the bathroom, it's there. So I'm just saying there's a lot of places. And if they don't have it, recommend it to places, folks. If there's a place that you go frequently and you go and have some drinks or you go out to do this, ask them, hey, have you guys ever thought about this? You know what I mean? And ask them to do it. Ask them. Right? So these are things that we can all do. Remember, when I say believe people, it is because whatever that person needs, we need to make sure that they get it. And then it's up to a court of... Mila, please don't pull that cord. You just pulled that whole thing over, sissy. Yeah, see, listen, when I was growing up a little girl, we had a couple down at the end of the street. Thank you guys for hitting 300,000 likes. And his wife her name was Joyce, and she was heavy set, and her husband was Jack. And Joyce used to put the wallop on old Jack because he was about $1.05 soaking wet, right? But, it happens. It happens. So, we need to be having these types of conversations. You waving at people? We need to have these conversations, not just when there's a prominent trial going on, not just when it's brought to our attentions, but on a regular basis so that we can create a society that is safe for absolutely everybody. Okay? So that is all I have for today. I am going to go get on the couch with this youngin', eat my lunch, and snuggle up. And I guess she wants to play a game. So we'll see that before I get back to work tonight. Remember, if you have not registered for tomorrow's workshop, do so today. I'm going to be working on all kinds of graphics and stuff tonight for you guys so that they will be ready and you all will have links to the Google Drive for it tomorrow. Love you guys, mean it. Thank you again for all the birthday wishes yesterday. They were incredible and amazing. Oh, you give me a kiss on my arm. Oh, you give me a big squeezes. I love you. All right. Do you want to tell everybody bye?
Yes.
Yes. Tell them, say, have a great day. Why are you squinting at people? All right. I know you said that. Looking wild. You had bubble gum. Quit your tongue in your mouth, silly. Quit. You don't have the bubble gum anymore. Quit. That's gross. Look, I had it that time. See you guys on Facebook and YouTube. Look, you got it that time, Mila?